Welcome back, Martini Giant fans. This is episode number 136, which is the 2023 film Saltburn, directed by Emerald Fennell and starring Barry Coogan. This is a little bit of an interesting film. We actually thought it was cool to talk about it. The big story around this film, this came out fairly recently, is that it is very shocking and people are refusing to see it, and there's a lot of things going on that people just don't want to see it and are offended by this film. But what's more shocking to us, I think, is the fact that people are shocked by this film. I'm just speaking from our perspective. Daniel and Eric and I grew up with films like Naked Lunch and Taxi Driver and Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, all of which have shocking elements to them, which is part of the entertainment of the film. And somehow we were a little bit surprised by what people consider shocking today. But it is a good film. And yes, the person that's doing certain actions in this film, specifically the protagonist, is doing certain things that are shocking and offensive. And that's, I think, by design. We're supposed to feel that way. And so it's interesting to sort of hear people's takes on it. Lots of very interesting things to hear about it. Love to hear your thoughts about it. So make sure you let us know on our Discord or on our YouTube comments or anything of that nature. I do have some announcements. We are going to do a podcast on Saturday, but unfortunately, we haven't planned what that is yet because I cannot go to the meeting. As you can see, I'm all dressed up. You're wondering, Chris, why are you all dressed up? I'm getting ready to go to the VES Awards, which is the Visual Effects Society Awards, and so I have to get dressed up to go to that. So that means that I can't get together with the guys today and discuss what movies we're going to do on Saturday. So it's going to be a surprise, but I'm sure it'll be fun. So make sure to go there on Twitch to follow us there, which is twitch.tv/martini_giant, twitch.tv/martini_giant. And we'll usually put up the show. It's usually at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Saturday. So go ahead and follow us there, which I believe is the 24th of February. And we're also on YouTube. We do YouTube Live now too, if you'd like to follow us there. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube. But our YouTube is youtube.com/@martinigiant. youtube.com/@martinigiant. Another quick announcement I want to let you guys know is, as you know, we've been hinting at the fact that we've actually been in the middle of a production. This is actually something really cool. I'm working as part of my job at Chaos and also working with Martini Giant, producing this really cool and interesting short. It's a big production, guys. It's like a lot of stuff that I'm working on, including some really cool brand new high-tech technology, which I'm working with at Chaos, and I'm very excited about it. And sort of turning this into a short with Martini Giant is really exciting. And if you guys would like to sort of be part of it or help out on it, we could always use a little bit of help, and mostly things like a little bit of comp work here and there. Anything that would be able to help us out, it would be really cool, because we kind of really want to make something interesting out of this. And it'd be great to have some of the Martini Giant guys involved in this, especially our fans. So if you would like to be part of that, just email us, podcast@martinigiant.com. Let me know if you'd like to be, what you're available to do, and we'll see if there's something that you can help us out on this short. It'd be really cool. But for now, please enjoy Saltburn. So I was thinking about all the movies we could have paired this with. Hot Tub Time Machine was one of them. Hot Tub Time Machine, that's perfect. Yes. Excellent. I know Eric said he wanted to pair it with a Peter Greenaway film, which actually is brilliant.
That makes sense, yes.
That makes sense.
Or there was that one film with Montgomery Clift.
Can you get the mic closer to you, Eric?
One film with Montgomery Clift.
And what's her name? Yeah. What's that called? That's a really good movie.
Shelley Winters.
Yeah. Shoot. I didn't even realize, I had not really watched Montgomery Clift movies until recently, and that dude was a really good actor. A really good actor.
Mm-hmm.
And then he was in a massive car crash and had major facial reconstructive surgery, and then didn't get the parts that he used to could, and kind of faded out, which is too bad. But he was terrific.
There's a couple of movies also I thought there could be interesting pairings. Mm-hmm. Gosford Park.
Oh yes, yeah, a lot of that. Like that, the upper crust nonsense. Yeah.
And then the other one was Withnail and I.
I'm waiting for us to. We've been talking about doing with now for a long,
I
long
know,
time.
but he's the guy from Withnail and I.
Yeah, that's the old. Yeah,
Darren
the
Grant?
The dad, yeah.
yeah. He's
Yeah.
great. He's terrific. I love that. He's also from the Steve Martin movie. He's the boyfriend.
The boyfriend. Oh, right, from L.A. Story.
LA Story. That's right.
Yeah.
Richard Grant is fantastic. Yeah, and this is the best thing he's done in quite some time. I was really happy to see him.
Yeah, I also liked because he had to be like, what's the what did I remember the Monty Python Upper Class Twit Awards?
Oh yeah, that's the best. Trying to hop over the row of matchboxes.
Yeah. Slam the car door of the sports car to wake up the neighbors.
I knew that. The announcer is the best part of that thing. Hopping over the.
Yeah, kind of ridiculous. Yes.
Yeah, no, it's I enjoy a good upper class twit movie. But the movie that this is most like is The Talented Mr. Ripley.
Yes.
I think this is more or less a spin on The Talented Mr. Ripley.
Sure.
And a vampire movie.
Yeah, and a vampire movie. Yeah. It takes the concept of Ripley, which is also, if people have seen Purple Noon, is the same movie. Patricia Highsmith book, Talented Mr. Ripley. And there's doing a Ripley show too, because there's a number of Ripley books. And what's his name? He played Moriarty on the Sherlock show, and he's the hot priest from Fleabag. What's his name?
Yes.
Yeah, he's going to be playing Ripley in a new Netflix series, which I'm actually very excited about. Those are very, very cool books, and he is an awesome actor.
Yeah.
I could use a little more Fleabag in my life.
I love Fleabag.
Yeah, I'm a huge, huge Fleabag fan.
The people were shocked by this movie, and I'm starting to realize, like, what the fuck is wrong with
Like
People
this
are
is,
stupid.
I mean, like, sure, it's not like it's not.
Sure.
It's got gross bits, but it's not like it's not.
Is
I wouldn't put this in the shocking tier. Like,
No.
I think that shows how few people have seen,
oh my
actual.
stars.
Yeah, exactly. It's a bit pearl clutching for my taste.
A
I
little
thought
pearl clutching, yes.
This was pretty funny and pretty.
Are we
gross.
on yet?
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're on.
rolling. Yeah, This is it. But yeah, but I really like this movie. I like this movie a lot. And like, I was really, I'd heard like, oh man, it's just so disturbing. And I was like, oh, it's just fun. This is just fun.
I'm reminded of my, I think I've told this story when my mother went to go see Sideways.
Yeah.
And she thought it was going to be a fun movie about going to go see people making wine in a wine country.
Right. Instead, it's just a shredding of that grand concept.
Someone stealing money from his mother's purse. And,
Oh yeah, God bless that movie.
and the most
It's
horror.
entertaining.
Like, I'm just sorry, but this movie and then Last Tango in Paris.
Yeah, or like 120 Days of Sodom.
Right.
Like it's real works of get any Pasolini movie up there.
Sure.
Then we're getting into the range of like you may not be prepared for this. This is a little bit intense.
What's or Eric's favorite reference? Mr. Bob Guccione.
Mr. Bob Guccione. Apparently, the re-release of what's it called? Caligula is very good.
I heard it's good.
Yeah, I heard it's actually a good movie now.
And
I'm like, how did they
ironically,
make that
my
into a
Why?
good
Because
movie?
they took out all the hardcore sex?
They actually put the plot back in, I guess.
I think, yeah. My mother's friend, my very good friend, who's like, woman from Connecticut, like
Sure.
close to 80 or 80,
Right.
is sending me this in an article. It's like, oh, Christopher, you might be interested. They're re-releasing Caligula. It's like,
Caligula. Wouldn't that be lovely to see? We should go when you're back in town. That's fantastic.
I mean, that's
just
the thing.
love
It's
that
like
Malcolm McDowell. He's so
I mean, the
charming.
fact is, we used to make Caligula, and that was shocking. And now this somehow was shocking.
Yeah, no, I think
This isn't shocking. There was nothing shocking about it.
There's nothing truly shocking. I mean, like it's like if you're
He's a
high
seedy
school,
character. That's true.
He's a nasty, seedy, fun villain, and it's a good time. It's a good time.
Right.
You know,
I think the fact is that he starts off
I don't
as
think
like
he is a seedy character.
oh, he is.
Well, he's a very
No.
I'll put it this way. He's a very pure character. I'll put it
Yeah,
that
but
way.
you get that sense early, and you know why?
Mhm.
like, well, we'll talk about the movie, but I realized, I mean, yes, it's seedy, but at the same time, there's something about him. When he first arrives at college and goes to the guidance counselor,
Oh, his tutor or whatever?
the tutor, and the guy's like, "Oh, you're this mother," and the other guy comes in and says, "Oh, that's my mother," and he's like, "Well, I'll tell her that I ran into an old friend." He's like, "Well, we're not friends," and it's almost like that would be our lead character protagonist if he chose not to do what he did.
Yeah, of course, yeah,
Right.
100%.
Yeah.
Like just bored, falling asleep in class, and afraid to say that he knew somebody was super popular.
Right.
He goes the other route and takes advantage of the super popular person and not to be that. So what would you rather be? And they establish it early. Like, do you want to be this or do you want to be that?
You want to be that, exactly. I mean, because it's sort of like he like that character is in line with Paul Giamatti in
Sideways.
in Holdovers.
In
Like
Holdovers.
where he's just like he's like this failed kind of half-ass who the school is employing out of pity, and just like if you're not the right breed in Oxford, like you're just going to be like at very, very best top of the line for the lower class members of Oxford is going to be this, and so you have a choice. You can be sort of stuffed into dusty academia and watching a bunch of beautiful rich kids travel through,
Right.
or you can have it all.
And if you want it all, this is what you have to do.
This is what you got to do. No, I think it's very interesting. Now, like, where are you guys on the Barry Keoghan? Or I don't know how to say his name. I say Keoghan, but I admit that it's wrong.
Who is that?
Keo?
He is Keoghan. I'm
He's
not sure.
I loved him since The Killing of Sacred Deer.
Yeah,
The
he's
main
pretty
guy.
good. The main guy.
He's such a great actor.
Very good actor.
One of the best today.
Yeah.
He's so damn good. The
He
Killers-
does play
the,
a similar. I mean, I don't
Sacred
want.
Deer.
He does play a similar role. Like I don't see him doing anything but that guy a little bit.
Well, he also plays an incredibly sweet, nice, dumb guy in Banshees of Inisherin.
Okay,
He's
that
like
I
the,
haven't seen. So I
oh,
can't
that's
say.
very good, and he is my favorite part in it. He has the line of the movie to me, and it's really, really good.
Well, not to give too much away, but both in this and Killing the Sacred Deer, he plays the innocent, not goofy
Yeah, the
guy who
person
has
who's-
a
yeah,
dark
right.
underside
Right.
the whole time.
So I feel like we should actually talk about Talented Mr. Ripley a little bit because that is kind of the source text on which the joke works here.
The joke.
Yeah, the way that this is spun is an inflection on what happens in Ripley, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Well,
like, go
I
ahead.
don't think so. I don't, but continue. We could talk about it.
Meaning that like it's taking. I mean, it is the plot of Ripley. Basically, it's just taking it straight through.
No,
but
the plot of Ripley is he pretends to be somebody else by using that person's name after he killed him.
like minus
he's
minus
totally
the mystery,
fooling,
minus the mystery aspect.
Yeah, but no, he's fooling everybody in Ripley. He's fooling everybody.
Well, the key difference between these movies is that in Ripley, Tom Ripley is a good person who puts himself in so deep into like he wants this lifestyle so badly, and he ingratiates himself into it so much that when it starts to unravel, things go very, very, very wrong very fast, and it reveals how little integrity Tom has, that he will do anything to get out of it. But the tragedy of Talented Mr. Ripley is that he's a good person at heart, but he turns into a very bad person who is killing people he cares about and all sorts of stuff by the end of that movie. I understand you disagree. This is a very common touchstone for this movie on the internet, so that's why I'm bringing it up.
Okay, but Ripley was not a good person, and you knew he wasn't a good person. He was a kiss ass.
Oh, 100%. I'm not
by the way, at the end, he doesn't. You don't. It's open ended, but you don't really know, at least in the first one, what he did or what happens to him. But he was a very conflicted person, and you get that sense.
What I mean to say is that I have a lot of empathy for Ripley. Like I'm worried that Ripley will get caught in that movie, And when he ends up having to kill the people that, or in particular, the person that he kills in the end of the movie, I feel that this is a tragedy. Like, this is a person that could have been saved, and who, like, because he has no integrity, he poisons literally everything. And so he can't have the thing that he wants, and he doesn't believe in what he is. So it's tragic. Doesn't mean that, like, when I say good person, I mean, like, I'm on his side as a personality. Whereas with Barry Keoghan, the entire idea of Saltburn is that that's the story they seem to be starting to tell in the beginning of this movie, right? And like, anyone familiar with Ripley is going to be like, oh, it's sort of like a talented Mr. Ripley thing. He falls in love with a guy, and then it's going to fall, and then he's going to be discovered, and then so-and-so. And then the movie goes, yeah, but what if this was Ripley with absolutely no empathy at all? Like, what if he was just correct? And I think that's what makes this movie interesting, because he is 100% it is revealed that he is, and relatively early on, he has absolutely no scruples or care for these people, even in the slightest. Like, they're animals to him.
But the thing is, you see what he could have become is like that teacher.
Sure.
I mean,
yeah.
I don't think, first of all, Ripley was a sympathetic character. I don't think he was like a nice guy who fell the wrong way. He was selfish, and he wanted something all on his own, but he didn't have a plan. He didn't have a plan. Right. And that's why you were always nervous, because, oh my God, he's now exposed to this. This guy, it's more of a fantasy because he does have a plan, and every plan seems to work out, and they show you.
We disagree on Tom Ripley, but we do agree on Barry Keoghan. Like, this guy is going there with a very clear idea of what he wants to do.
No, I root for him because you know exactly.
Right.
Did he want to be this soft guy, and or do you want to be like that teacher that he was advisor? Absolutely. Or he went for it, and so it's celebratory at the end.
Yes.
And in the end, here's the other thing. It's like the wealthy people portrayed here, except for the lead guy who looked like an English version of a tall Alan Alda. The other guy, in Ripley, the people, they both seem out of touch, but you're more sympathetic for the people in Ripley than you are to these people.
Well, I take the people in Ripley,
and it's comical, whereas Ripley isn't. When she's like, "Oh, she killed herself. We have to go to it." That's just comical,
right? Absolutely. And so, this is like, and the thing is, if it's coming across like I'm criticizing this in favor of Ripley,
it plays like a Greenaway play, at least in the setup.
I think that this thing, I'm sure that she is a giant fan of Talented Mr. Ripley, and that's what inspired this movie, because she's like, what if you took this, and instead of having because the setup of Ripley, the rich are really charming, right, and really likable, and Gwyneth Paltrow and blah blah blah, all the wonderful stuff.
A Place in the Sun is actually more what it is.
So like that with those rich characters, they are revealed to be quite conniving and dastardly in their own way in Ripley.
In which movie?
In Ripley. Talented Mr. Ripley. So like
no, they weren't.
Oh, like
they were not dastardly. They were were exactly who they were, and it was real. It was how they was raised. And the only person that was not.
I forfeit. I forfeit entirely. I'm not going to argue that anymore. So let's go on and talk about Saltburn. So this, like, what I do love about.
I'm not going to argue. We're just having a discussion.
Let's talk about Saltburn.
So to cop out like that is just say.
I understand. Let's talk about Saltburn. So Saltburn,
no. But that's even more offensive. It's like, well, I don't get what you're saying, so let's just. I'm copping out.
I do get what you're saying, but we're just naysaying each other, and which means we don't agree. It's okay, we don't agree, but like, there's no point in continuing that. I was just bringing it up because a lot of people online talk about it. So what I'm saying is that where we do agree is Saltburn is really fascinating because it's unusual to play a character like this as the hero when what he is doing is just coming to murder everybody.
Yeah, but Dexter was a huge show.
Absolutely, it's a great point.
Yeah. Okay. This was more like a vampire film where you cheer for the vampire
Absolutely.
than you do. But I think social structure and all the character structure and everything between Ripley and this one are not even close. And for people to say that is they're missing because they don't understand that structure. The people were played real in Ripley. These people were comical, and it was very much set up like a Greenaway play where everything is presented in these kind of farcical, even the butlers, and with this makeup on. And it was very kind of silly at times, but he carries this because he's so determined to win.
Right. Well,
and so you cheer him on to win no matter
I agree.
what.
Well, and I think that this is what's interesting about how people are like this movie is relatively controversial, right? There are a lot of people that are angry at this movie and all this kind of stuff. And so like
because
they do, like they think it's inappropriate to have a character like Keegan do such cruel and like vampiric villainous things to people who are instead represented as being the rich are not villainous in the movie. They're simply stupid.
Yeah. Shallow and stupid.
They're shallow and stupid. And one of them is
to
really
a point of comical.
But absolutely. But
Parasite.
Well,
like it's Parasite without any like reverse at all.
More
like,
believable
at
people.
Right. This is I agree with Eric that this is absolutely a farce. Like this is a farce.
It is. And you know how you could tell it's a farce? Is because the way the house was designed.
Yes. Right.
And the statues there and all the things, they were more like a Greenaway film or play where they're just like statues or they're decoration in order to be part of the presentation of this character as he steals everything because it is eat the rich.
Right. And that's what I mean. It's like normally eat the rich stories are portrayed in like you normally would say like for instance with like I'm trying to think of a good example of this, but normally like the rich are a little deserving of what they get. Like in Greenaway films like Cook the Thief, like her husband is a fucking vile monster. Like he's an absolute hideous beast who deserves everything he gets. Right? And so roasting him and eating him is hilarious. Right? That's great. Because they make him into such a cartoon that you feel good.
They don't roast him though. They roast.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. It's been a while since I've seen it, but like the idea of destroying this man is hilarious, right? And so the like that's the normal tone for a classic Eat the Rich movie, right? And like where you would have like a likable protagonist who is poor, who is essentially enacting the kind of vengeance you feel towards the rich, and the rich are shown to be supervillains. That's Eat the Rich, and it's really fun. This not only does it make the rich just sort of like goats, like they're just like and wandering around waiting to be killed, right? And one of them's even very nice and likable. Like the handsome kid is just like, oh, he's just kind of sweet, right? And like all this, it also makes Keegan not even poor. Like there's like he comes from a perfectly upper middle class family. It is revealed, right?
To me it's more some of the it's like I said, Place in the Sun, Greenaway film, plus also King of Comedy, where King of Comedy
I totally
you
agree.
cringe with those moments, like when they go back to visit his family. But it is really Ripley is a different thing.
Maybe we disagree on the Rita Ripley, but like that kind of flavor that I'm describing, where it's like there's a sympathetic hero who feel like oh man, he just like he's a poor kid that just like it's hard for the poor smart kid to make it up to the upper crust because it's so closed off, and then the rich guys are like a little bit sort of like once they're bored of you, they throw you away and stuff like this.
In which movie?
In movies like the way that I read Ripley, but there are plenty of movies like Ripley that we would agree on. That in this movie, they minimize all of that and they level the playing field almost entirely, which is what I think is really interesting.
Well, they level the playing field. They actually, the thing about Ripley is that immediately understand, you perceive him as kind of, he's intelligent, at least that the father thinks he is.
Yeah.
When they go to that classical music at his apartment, and then he starts lying. But he's almost like a fuck up.
Yes.
Like in a place, what's it called? Not A Place in the Sun, but in, the Montgomery Clift one, which is, I just said it. Anyway, they're very similar. Here, you don't get a sense that he was a great academic. You don't get a sense of any of that. And he also, I think that lead character who is the son, the Alan Alda, super tall, he actually has a lot of intelligence, and he's real because he screws up.
Right.
And you get that sense. And so it was really just those two guys for me. Everything else seems so decorative.
Right. Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's entirely ornamental, right? And then and the idea of I think that what the movie is
Place in the Sun.
Place in the Sun. Yeah, it was either that or Something Last Summer. I can't remember which one.
Yeah, it was A Place in the Sun.
Place in the Sun.
And
that's with what's her name? Black hair.
Elizabeth Taylor,
right.
And Montgomery Clift. And he's a poor guy, right. And he basically cons his way up, and he fucks up. He kills his woman that he was engaged to, who was pregnant, and he still wants that wealth. And but this is it's framed so differently that you cheer this guy on. I find it very strange, though, that people didn't like it because he basically stole and he killed people.
Here's my feeling.
But quickly,
on why
the thing is, this is in the era where Dahmer was the #1 show,
right?
And
right.
Dexter was a big hit. I mean, there are so many stories where the protagonists are cruel and people still love it. So why the fuck are you? He basically set out a goal and he did it.
Yeah,
and he shows you at the end. So why would you not like him?
Let's get to the story because it's going to be hard contextually to understand this without it. But I think you're bringing up some excellent points that we need to address, and one is people just need to get grow a pair.
Yeah, exactly. Come on,
I hate to say that.
It's a movie.
Right. But,
that's what's fun about it.
But it's not everyone in movies have to be heroes in the way that people think of heroes. I'm just tired of this
what does
bullshit.
the movie make you think about? That's what's interesting.
I think it's just the character. It's a classic character of what.
No, I think it's also because he was gay. Now Ripley was gay, but you don't realize
he's
to the end.
Not really gay either.
He's just he's just a monster.
He's just a monster. Just because he has sex with men
everybody.
Too, with everyone.
he's just I don't give a shit. You're
I didn't think he
I think that's how it's read,
come across as a monster to me.
I think Chris, you're right, and that's how it's received, and that's why people are particularly
It's just somebody who wants that so badly.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to get into the story so that this makes more sense. I'm going to make because it doesn't make any sense without it.
Okay, go.
So I have to get into the story for this to happen. So the story is essentially he goes to Oxford. Oxford is a very, very prestigious school in the UK. The opening shot is him going to school, and he's immediately mocked for the way he dresses.
Right.
Because he's dressing in a certain way that he thinks he should be dressing for that school, and he is not correctly dressed. Right.
But he's only mocked by the one person that mocks him throughout, who's more like a court jester.
Yes. Because and that person is going to become a very important part of this conversation, right? Because he's the one who's like, you're trying to take my place.
Exactly.
Right.
I got the end.
Right.
I've hooked myself up properly.
Right. So he goes to this school and he doesn't fit in at all. Everyone seems to be friends with everyone. In fact, he makes friends with someone there who says, we're not friends with anyone. Look at everyone around. They're all friends with someone, right? And so they're all sort of like not accepted, very much outcasts, right? But he eyes this one kid, tall, good-looking kid that everyone seems to like, and is very, very interested in that one guy. And then runs into him, helps him out with a flat tire on his, the guy has a flat tire on his bike, helps him out with his flat tire on his bike.
And it has to be said, this dude is unbelievably beautiful.
Handsome
he is
boy.
just so he's beautiful just as as an actor, but they photograph him so lavishly.
Yeah.
Like you're just like he looks like this living angel personality. It's really
it's something about Mary, but boy style.
Yeah, exactly.
like what is this with this guy? He's so handsome.
and
charming, sweet.
Yes. And obviously like rich beyond any.
Well, we don't really sort of get into the rich part of things until we start to realize there's definitely different classes of people going on here. Right. Now, definitely there's like the border school, the kids that go to boarding school, right? And then he is labeled our protagonist is labeled as the scholarship boy, right?
Right.
So he got in there on a scholarship, meaning
you're not really going.
Oh, you do though. Like you're probably smarter than all
everybody
of them.
else's. Yeah, exactly. From everybody else's point of view, they're like, you didn't get in the way you're supposed to get it, which is to be born into this stuff.
Exactly. Yeah, you're the outsider, right? And I know this from when I went to Hackley. There's definitely these scholarship kids from Hackley at the prep school were very much the same kind of feeling of things, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it was kind of an interesting sort of dynamic there of like rich kids and not rich kids. And I remember when I was at summer I would hang out with my grandfather and we would go to the Rockefeller houses, and the Rockefeller kids were definitely treated us a little bit differently, shall we say?
Sure, of course.
Right. So it was just kind of an interesting dynamic between all of them. Anyway, he starts to make friends with this guy more and more and more and more. And then he starts revealing parts of his own past and talks about how his parents are addicts and horrible people, and his father.
Sad story.
Sad stories about his family, right? And like really like, my dad is a dealer. My mom, I have to stick my fingers down her throat to make her throw up so she was still alive. And then just really bad. And then he's like, doesn't know what he's going to do for summer. I don't want to go home. It's just horrible. It's terrible. I was like, what? And then his friends are like, why don't you come hang out with me all summer? Hang out with me all summer. It'd be great. Over at Saltburn, which is that. But it takes a while before we get to Saltburn. Like I really thought this movie, because I didn't know anything about it, thought it was going to all take place at the school, but most of it takes place during the summer in Saltburn. Right. So he shows up at the house, and it's not a house, it's a castle. Right? Gosford Park style. That's why I'm just put it out there. But there's like staff and room after room after room, and just, obviously sir this and madam lady this, and et cetera, et cetera. Right. Meets the parents, right? Parents are just the dumbest.
They're sort of like lightweight,
completely
dimwits.
Out of touch with the real world,
right? And they're like they're just parodies of just like tottering around, saying idiot stuff.
But they say they gossip about things that they don't know about. But then when they avoid talking about reality at all cost.
Yeah, no matter
real
what.
Emotions are
like no matter what the fuck is going on, like just ignore anything that's painful or just totally throw out the window.
Right. Yes. And really good. The parents are really good. And then he has a sister who likes to screw around.
Right.
And a cousin. Is it the guy a cousin?
Oh yes.
Kind of.
Sure.
It's
unclear, but yeah.
No, I think it's like one of those fake cousins. I think something to do with his father and an affair or relationship, and then she fled. So he kind of adopted him in a way. So it's
kind
like
of,
fake,
right?
Yeah, it's a fake cousin. It's sort of
kind of right.
Yeah. Loose association that's floating around.
He's a half black kid, right? His mother was English. She went to America, probably got with a black guy, had a kid, and this is the kid, and he's a privileged life. However, as we start to learn, not quite as good
right.
as the life that they had. So he's kind of borrowing money from them and sort of going, not the rich kid. He's not on his own rich kid, right? He's always having to borrow money or do things like that.
He has to figure out how to frame his story to maximally both ingratiate himself into the situation, but also take the maximum benefit out at the same time. So he holds himself at every opportunity. He positions himself above Keegan.
I'm more part of this family than you are.
Yes,
he's Richard III.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
It's just this is it.
He really is, and he talks about Richard III.
Yes, he does.
Well, this is because Keegan, Keegan talks about Richard III. He says he is a vampire, literally. He actually says it, and I'm just like, as soon as he said it, I was like, I bet he is actually.
Yeah.
And he more or less is.
Yeah,
barely even symbolically.
But barely, not it's pretty much is like sucks the blood out of people. But the other guy is like, he's also a little bit like the guy from Gosford Park who's trying to beg for money from the rich guy, right? From the owner of the house. So he's not quite begging for money, but he's doing all he can to make sure that Keegan knows you've only been part of this because you're his boy toy. I've been here for longer. You're going to go away and think about the fantasy of this amazing summer, but you don't actually belong here.
Right. And so at this point, the feeling for anyone who is uninitiated in this kind of story, this is a love story between Keegan and the young, pretty, lovely man.
Right.
And this third guy is going to come in and mess that up. He's the sort of the hanger-on character is going to be the one who's going to upend this whole problem.
Yes.
Right? And so at this point, I think everybody in the audience is thinking I'm on this. I feel like this is Barry is a good person, and
he is completely comes off as innocent and naive and sweet.
As a naive, innocent person, and he's just fallen in love with this guy. And now it's all going to turn slowly sour. And that's what you think is going to happen.
He comes from a very broken home.
Yes.
And he is privileged.
You take it all at face value. Right.
Privileged to come into contact with these people.
So this is a love,
which is what's hard. This is why I want to get to this point, because I think that most people are going to think about what we were talking about at the beginning. It's like he's a terrible person.
Yes.
Within
about 25 minutes, it's revealed he is probably a terrible person.
Probably. I think it's more. I think it's closer to 40 minutes, maybe 45 minutes before
it starts to show its hand, and then at some point it's just 100%.
Yeah. When he starts to go after the sister, that's when you start to go
that's when
wait.
Know, right?
Yeah.
And so I think that what is I want to interrupt the flow of the story, but where people are at this point in the movie is the movie that they want to see.
It's the sideways problem I was dealing with my mom. Right. It's suddenly oh, what the fuck? He's a horrible person.
When Sideways has Timothy Heidenreich running, chasing the naked dude down the street, or being chased by the naked dude down the street, then the movie is off the rails, and everyone in the audience is I wanted a wine country movie.
They wanted
naked guy.
What's the name of the movie? Bottle Rocket. Remember that?
Yeah,
one?
Exactly. Something sweet,
so it's goofy little we're gonna have wine.
Kind of stuff, and then So you're in the this is the sweet love story moment of the film, and this is where I think that almost everybody in the audience who is interested in seeing this is this is the movie I want this to be, and then the movie goes, well, let's see where we go.
Yeah. Because suddenly his tone changes, right? He goes from very innocent, right? So just to give you some flavors of the tone, right? He goes from little innocent things where he's oh, we have to dress up for dinner every night, right?
I don't have a tuxedo. Yeah. Right.
And so that's one of the things they do, right? Or the fact that the mother has a friend there that's a very sort of bohemian style thing that they're very entertained by.
Right.
But she turns out to be, they got bored with her and they sent her home.
Yeah, she's getting a little bit sort of depressing. She's you can tell that she used to be fun, but now it's she's getting into drug
Did
problems.
you ever see A Kiss Before Dying?
Yeah. Yep.
This has a lot of that theme too.
Sure. Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good movie. Yeah, Kiss Before Dying. There's another one.
There was the
from
original
same
one
guy.
too with Robert Wagner
Yeah,
and Joanne Woodward.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But basically, they're like, you have these things like, if you don't continue to be fun, we're going to send you home.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you're here to entertain us. You know,
Right.
like she's like, I love her character too, because like they're obviously kind of annoyed.
Well,
by
she
her.
would think she'd be fascinating with all the crazy outfits she wears,
Yeah.
but she's really just a vapid emptiness inside.
Yeah, exactly. And she's
Like,
just like,
huh.
her boyfriend is mixed up in getting people killed. Like, you're just like, what the fuck is going on with this woman?
Yeah.
You know, and then she's just like, oh well, bye. And then they're perfectly happy to see her go, like, oh, goodbye, it's good luck, bye. Oh, what a bore. You know, you know, like putting her up for, and so she serves, you're right, as the example of what we believe will be happening to Barry.
Yeah, if you don't continue to entertain us, you're going to be sent home.
You're going to be sent packing. That's the stakes.
Right.
And this is like, these aren't the actual stakes of the movie. These are the fake stakes in the movie.
Right.
Like, this is the stakes of that kind of story, and that's why people are like, oh, poor Barry.
Yeah, no.
Which is like, oh, poor Dracula.
Yeah. And in fact, there's that scene, like the scene that started it off, right, is the sister, who we know is very promiscuous, shall we say,
Right.
shows up in front of his house in a see-through dress.
Right, and she's
At
like
night.
trying to tease him on.
Tease
and
him
all this
out.
kind
I was
of
like, come
stuff,
on
right?
outside, right?
So she can manipulate him.
Which is a similar scene to Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Yeah, exactly. Right. And so, like, what happens is, instead of her sort of teasing him out and tricking him,
Possessing him.
and possessing him,
He turns it around.
In a single scene, he turns it around. Right.
He turns it around and he completely possesses her.
Right. And in such a way as to just like, the mask is off. Like,
The mask is off completely.
He is not the person you thought
He is
was.
not the person you thought he was. And in fact, you can see her expression change, like, oh my God, this did not go the way I thought it was going to go, right?
Right.
And so she becomes completely freaked out by this situation. And
Right. And so
just to give you a little bit of, tell you what happens in this situation, and then warning, this could be a little bit on the gross side, for those of you not. Is that
Clutch your pearls. Here you go.
Clutch your pearls, right? What she does is like, oh, she's there, and he goes to seduce her and starts putting his hand between her legs, and it turns out that she says, oh, it's the wrong time of the month. And he says, I don't care.
Right.
And then there's a lot of sexual things that happen with,
Right.
includes a lot of blood. Let's just put it
Yeah.
that way. Right?
And then he's just like, don't worry, I'm a vampire, so it's fine.
Right.
You know? And
And she's just shocked.
Yes,
but then there's,
right.
he
And so
go ahead and it just, yeah. What's also funny was the mother
Mhm.
was it before that scene? I think it was before that scene. She goes, I used to be a lesbian in college. It didn't work out so well.
Great line.
Women are really wet. Men are much drier.
much drier. It's got fucking
it
dumb
was like,
stuff she
huh.
says. It's just
It's a weird thing to say.
Yeah, exactly. It's so funny. I think it's like, I've never been the world's biggest Rosamund Pike fan. Like, I think she has been appropriately cast in movies. Like, I think she's terrific in Gone Girl. But I kind of thought that was what she did. Like, that was her shtick.
Uh-huh.
And I was proving very wrong. She's actually very talented, and she's
very
extremely
good in
funny.
this.
Yeah,
The
she's
mother is.
extremely funny in this.
Yeah.
And so I retract my earlier criticisms of she was taking Gone Girl style roles because that's what's paying the bills. I get it.
Yeah.
So I get it now. You actually are a good actor and a very funny one at that. So
Right.
my
But
fault.
the best scene of the conclusion of the encounter with the sister and the whole thing is an amazing shot of him cleaning off in the tub and putting his face underwater and the blood coming from his mouth.
It's great.
And it
Beautifully
just
shot.
looks,
We should
first of all,
we should
looks
stop and
awesome.
say this is a gorgeously shot movie. This is a
Gorgeously
beautiful
shot
movie.
film.
And the fonts are great.
And the
titles.
titles are incredible. The
Yes.
titles are like of my favorite titles in many years.
Yeah.
Like when that main title comes on with that deep red and the squirrely animation, I was like, oh my God, that's
Right.
insane. Like, that's absolutely A+ design.
Right. But I think it's also like just the way that he looks at it just looks like fangs of blood, right?
Yeah,
when it comes out.
great.
So it has a very vampire look, and it's shot from underwater, but there's the reflection of it from the other side of the water. You know, the way that reflection works. Just really cool.
Yeah,
really interesting.
It's beautifully framed. It's it's an Academy ratio movie, or it's almost a square movie. And
it's 3:4.
Is it 3:4? Yeah, it's 3:4. So it's really, really, it's an unusual frame. Like you're going to get letterboxing on the side. So it's like an old movie essentially. But they
and apparently the choice was to do that was so that it looks more like you're looking into a world as opposed to
it's a keyhole kind of feeling.
Keyhole.
Yeah.
Story.
But yeah, so like this moves into this sort of second phase of the movie where you're like, oh, he's actually a different person, sort of a more devious person. But I'm still sort of treating everybody like they're people.
Go ahead, Eric.
I picked up, like, when he was at the bar and he was hanging out with that mathematician, and then the mathematician goes to the bathroom, and when he comes back, he's sitting with the other guy.
Right.
Yeah, and he thinks nothing of it. That was like, for me, like, okay, I know.
Oh, it's definitely,
that was the pivotal time where it's like, okay, he's not who he says he is.
Right.
At all.
I saw that more like, well, I moved up in the world.
Yeah, like they certainly frame it like it's like, here's the first mistake he makes. Like he wants to move up, so like and I was like, oh, they're setting up this character because then this character will later pay him back in kind at a key moment.
Yeah,
that's the kind of setup
that's not what happens.
That's not what happens.
Not what happens.
Like, and it's very cleverly dressed up to look like something.
It makes you think that you're going to watch. So even though we kind of gave away the theme of it at the beginning of the podcast, or the feeling, the movie, the thing I think that's interesting is that as the movie goes on, you think you're watching a certain movie, and then it's revealed slowly. No, it's not that movie, and then you think you're watching another movie. No, it's not that movie. As you keep going along the roads, right?
I mean, like Barry Keoghan, Barry Keoghan changes into a different person with each act almost.
But they also show him in the very beginning with this kind of going up in a different time frame where he's actually with the mother at the end.
Mm-hmm. Sure,
he's talking about falling in love.
Because the first question in the movie is, did I love him? Right? And so like the movie is trying to frame this as if like terrible things will happen and you may question whether or not I love this guy. Right. And so like that's the interpretation that I had in the first opening couple of seconds, right?
Yes.
And because I'm expecting just a regular story, and then it plays into that and all these things. Because I think
the way they shot the guy though was more gay erotic than it was.
100%.
100%.
100%. And the thing is, like, I think like you bring up a great point, Eric, which is like when he blows off the math dude, like it's a great example of how the movie like is actually showing you, like straight up showing you who this person is, right? But it contextually frames it so I read it as a different kind of scene, right? And now when I think about it, it's like it's plainly obvious. But because I'm thinking of it a different kind of movie, I read like, oh, that's his first mistake, and he's actually like, I'm telling myself a story, which is what the movie makes you do, which is really why people are mad. Ultimately, I think what people are mad about that, like the reason why people are mad about that movie is because the movie makes you tell yourself a story to support how he is acting, because you want to believe in the story, and in fact, it's not telling you that story. Like, and the story that you think is happening is wrong. And that's the fun of the movie, but like I think that as it goes on and he becomes more and more revealed as as Pan, like,
yes, but he clearly has a very strong sexual attraction to the guy.
Oh yeah, like that's because the guy
because
is
it's not, he's not just using the guy for the life that he wants,
right?
He's actually very sexually attractive.
I think that's
I think they were having a relationship.
I think it's as close as he can have to a relationship, because what he wants is that pure, like absolutely pure inward and outward beauty of everything. Like this kid has it all, is a good person, is beautiful, and is untouchable. Like he's free of the world entirely. Like this is like he lives in a mansion. He's a bazillionaire. He looks like Superman, and he's like, and everyone loves him. And then like this is why Keoghan like wants to possess him. Like he's just like, I must consume this. Like this is the stuff that I must have. And because that's the experience I want to have. I want to have it all. And he is more than Saltburn. That kid
He's an
represents
addict.
it all. Yeah. And I think that this is he is so perfectly young Christopher Reeve.
Yeah, he is.
Overwhelming in this movie. And it's so lovely that you can't help but want it to be a tragic love story if you're going to have that dude in it.
Right. Remains of the day.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
It's not that.
And it is not
You
that.
see, every time you think it's something, it's not quite that.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
And really what it is, you're right. He's a Dracula. He's going in there.
Monster.
He's a monster.
He's a monster.
Right.
He's
And
here to
even
consume everyone.
what's interesting was revealed is like
Tom Cruise.
you go through the beginning of
Interview with a
you
vampire.
revisit the beginning of the story under a new context
Mhm.
when you see what's happening.
Right.
And he also has this, there's a whole thing about he's infatuated with the attractive young boy who is in the bathtub. And then the big scene that had everyone horrified was in the bathtub scene, right? So,
Right.
which is almost a giveaway. Like it doesn't even need to be in the movie. I mean,
it certainly should make you question what he is, like what he's really doing. Is this
He's an addict.
Yeah, exactly. Like because it's beyond it goes beyond a lustiness into something way other, right? Because to tell everybody what happens, he's spying on the guy.
He sneaks a peek. He shares a bath. There's a bathroom between their two rooms in the mansion, and he goes to the bathroom and he spies through the door his friend.
Yeah.
Masturbating in the bathtub.
Right. And so he just waits till he's done. The water's drained. The dude leaves, and the water starts to drain. And Kyogen runs in, jumps in the tub, and starts slurping the water up out of the drain. And
right.
At first you're like, oh,
this, by the way, made people run in horror.
That's a bit much,
right?
That's a bit much,
right? I mean, think about
nasty,
why don't you go to the fridge and give me a stick of butter? I teach you a lesson you never forget. That should make you run in horror.
That's a little bit better. But yeah, it's if you're watching Sallow, then you gotta brace yourself. But but with this, the scene starts out as
or man bites dog.
Yeah, man bites dog. See, exactly. The scene starts out as a romantic infatuation of looking on, right? Like a sexually tinged romantic infatuation. Then it goes into really lustful infatuation, and then it just becomes he's just consuming this literally. He's just I'm just absorbing.
What drove I do feel like I watched it again today. They don't show it. Mm-hmm. But the way they looked at each other and things, they were sleeping with each other.
Oh,
they had intimacy,
yeah.
And it's this
the kid, the handsome kid is totally fallen for Kyogen without a doubt. But
they keep talking about the fact that he's your boy toy, he's going to get bored of you, but that just means they're sleeping together, right?
Yeah, exactly. And that's that half. His half is a love story,
right?
But Kyogen's half is something completely, almost otherworldly,
right?
And I think that this is the sort of the genius of the movie, is because as it goes on, things get more and more intense. It is discovered, the young beautiful boy discovers that Kyogen's been actually lying this whole time.
Yeah. Let's bring this up a little bit, because as we discover, okay, he's weird and seedy. He's got a different vibe. He's got these sexual perversions, right, with the sister and the brother, obviously, right? Mm-hmm. Strange. There's the other kid, right, mm-hmm. who is constantly trying to undermine him,
right?
Who he also seduces and has sex with him.
Yes, right. Which is actually one of my favorite scenes in the movie,
right?
Because this kid is so on his case the whole time.
Right.
It's really, really, competing.
Yeah.
And that is a better, that scene is a better dominance scene than,
it's total dominance over
than the one with the sister.
Right.
I think it's this is real. This is where I'm just he totally turns this guy around into this, turns all of his emotions around, and all of his anger and all of his fear around into desire. And it's a brilliantly done gag. I was just oh, it's a great fucking scene.
Right.
Right. And once he wins that dude over, I'm this guy's dangerous.
Well, it was funny. Like for example, they have a party and there's like, oh, we're going to, and they casually say, it's like, oh, we're going to be 30 for dinner tonight.
Yeah, right. Well, you know how to get these numbers.
Numbers. Oh, we're having the Henrys over. The Henrys, just, they're all called Henry. And it's like, oh my God. And it's sort of almost joking about how inbred people are.
Yeah,
you know?
everyone's
and in fact, the guy who's singing in the karaoke, it's the same guy from Gosford Park who begs for the money.
Oh, that's good.
Think about it. That. Remember?
That's pretty funny. That's great. I love it. I love it.
So it's like that thing where it's like, oh, the guy from, and he's just clearly inbred English,
Right.
Trash.
Right. And so what's really great is that the movie sets up the only sort of class you are aware of is having all the money versus having none of the money.
And then you also have the strange butler also.
Yes. Right.
Who is like not even a person, a robot.
Yeah.
Right.
He's Renfield. Yeah. It's
very strange.
He's just resentful of everyone. Like he's just like, you were all
everyone
me.
is horrible.
Yeah,
I don't like you because you're trying to come into this household.
That was like the Almodovar kind of touch to it.
Yes, yeah,
it was really kind of out of the left field.
Yep.
And
I wanted a little more time with that butler. I think the butler had a great story. And,
and I'm going to get to my butler thing in a second. But the point is, okay, so we have the weird thing with his sexual infatuation with the boys. He has sex with the other one to get him out of the way, which is also strange. And then he has sex with the sister.
Yeah.
So he's basically screwing everyone. And then he does a pickup line to the mother that has her all flustered.
Yeah.
Right. It's like, oh, she must have been very jealous of you because you're so beautiful. Like I'm just like, that's why I like men. They're dry. It's a weird thing to say.
Okay. What a character, man.
And then the dad is just, I love that guy. He's so funny.
He's so funny. He's always just reading the newspaper or whatever.
Oh
my God, it's so bad.
What were they watching? Superbad, and he was going,
he's morons. It's amazing. And this is what I really like. What I really love about the movie is that I kept on expecting the rich to be like I said, to be bad, to be Cook the Thief, his wife and her lover, and I'm just like, they're just dopes.
Yes, they're just dopes.
They're just dopes. Like everyone you see is just a dope. They're a little like the pretty kid is smarter than the others and very likable and very and very lovely, but everyone else is just a dumbass. Barely.
I also thought it was very interesting, by the way, that the quote unquote cousin that was in the family but not quite accepted, and he's trying to is half black.
Oh yeah,
because that really sort of doesn't matter.
Yeah,
you're half black. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah. He's out, and he's trying to use everything he can to stay in the rich zone. Part of that is his identity, right? Yeah. And so he's just like I gotta keep hustling to keep it.
But he's the one, by the way, of all of them, he's the one that puts him down the most because because he has too much to lose, right?
Right.
That's right.
Because he will fall. He's right on the outer orbit.
Right.
And he knows that he can fly away at
his
any
boyfriend has nothing to lose. So he's happy and nice to everyone.
Right. And I think from the
I equate this, by the way, to corporations. He's like at the vice president level where his job is on the line constantly.
Yeah, exactly. Until you get to the top spot, you're the first on the chopping block. And so whereas I think that the beautiful kid is he actually he may have had plenty of boy toys in the past. But I believe.
And they hint at that, by the way. They say,
right, yeah.
I think I like you better than the one from last summer.
Yes, exactly. So there's you're like, oh, there's a reason why Barry should be worried, all this stuff. But whereas I'm watching that kid, I'm like, I think he actually is falling in love with Barry. I think this is a longer term prospect for him. He really is connecting in a way that is unlike the other rich kid or anything like that. He seems like a very genuine person around him.
Right.
And I'm like, this might be, like this is obviously going to go wrong, but I believe in the idea of this love story because this guy is so pure, right?
Right.
And he is just like the fucking sacred deer.
Yes, absolutely.
He is the sacred deer.
So after they have the big party for the 30 people, they're just like, oh, what should we do for your birthday? And what was the guy's name or whatever, our protagonist? And he's we should do something for your birthday. Maybe we'll have a party, Right. Oh, something small, like 100 people. Well, but what Ozen turns up in 200 people. And they're like, what the fuck? That's bigger than my wedding. But,
exactly what the fuck is going on? Yeah, this is the alien world of the super rich.
Right, the alien world where it's like, oh, and we'll make a theme. Yes, fancy theme. Midsummer Night Dream. I could wear my suit of armor. Yes, dear, you can. I was like, that was just hilarious.
Yeah,
right?
It's just great. It's just
I could wear my suit of armor.
Monty Python level ridiculousness.
Yes.
Right, and they're setting up for that, and then and then this is when it's discovered that the beautiful rich kid gets a hold of Kyogen's phone and
says your mother's been trying to get a hold of you, right?
And
now remember, there's just a quick note. He said when you were in college that his dad died and cracked his head on a pavement,
right? Because
his dad, was probably on drugs or whatever, and his mother is in meth, and like this whole situation. But then he's like, "We're going on a road trip," right?
Yeah, right.
And then slowly revealed that as they're driving, is like, "Oh shit, he's taking you to his house," right?
Right. And they go to see his house.
And as it goes to the house, it's a very nice upper middle class house.
Perfectly nice house.
And
it's like, wow, your mom's picked herself up.
Yeah, your mother's really done well for herself.
Right. And then
she opens the door.
And the father, who's totally fine. And everything's
totally
great.
Fine. Yeah. They talk about how they used to go to Mykonos every summer.
Right.
And then and his sisters. You have
and there's
sisters?
Nothing about them that is even it's not like with the other family, the Saltburn family. Like these are relatively realistic people. And
yeah, absolutely.
There is nothing happening here.
Adore their son.
Yeah, like there's nothing here that would turn him into what he is.
He didn't do it. No,
he's not abused. He's not nothing. He's just like.
But that is the psychosis of A Kiss Before Dime,
yes,
where he has normal family and he just doesn't want to be associated with them.
He's a psychopath.
Exactly. He's a psychopath. He is in fact a psychopath, which is he is just like he wants to get the fuck out of there as fast as he can.
So he says, "Let's go." Yeah. And the mom, it's like, well, that's okay. And the father says, "But your mother's been working all day on making you lunch and a cake and everything."
Yes,
and
sweet,
and the cute boy says, like, "Well, we should absolutely stay." And of course, while we know that his boyfriend realizes that he's been lied to the whole time, he is playing along in the most charming way.
Fantastic, nice guy.
So nothing's gone wrong.
He's entertained by scared and entertained. Like,
I think he's just being very, very polite because that's how he was raised.
Polite. And and he knows.
He wants to see this unfold. It's a train wreck for him, and this guy's in an uncomfortable position.
Yeah,
so, I think we should stay.
I think I saw him. I thought he betrayed me. Let's needle him. I saw it as him being super, super, super polite because that's the way he quote unquote was raised. Which, by the way, all of the habits of the super rich are revealed in this thing as well. But when they're in the car and they leave, he's furious at him.
Yeah, right.
So he put on the brave face the whole time during the mother and father interaction
because he's overwhelmed. He's angry at himself for being so stupid to not see this, or at least how could he have missed this? So he's like, you know what? Let's stay. It's very much like the scene in King of Comedy.
Yeah, let's sit in the bath of acid. Hey, you brought us here, so let's sit here.
Yeah, he's furious at him for lying to him.
So he's like everything's going to fall apart now, and now you're just like I felt bad for him because he had clearly invested in this relationship, and it's being pulled out. The rug's being pulled out, and still at this point, I'm thinking Kyogen is not he is not a monster. I'm still thinking this is a relationship that he values interpersonally, but he so wants to be on the inside that he's risked it all. That's what I'm thinking. This is also not true.
Right.
Like this is not true in the slightest. Like I'm still trying to make this some sort of like love story, tragedy, something, and it is for the handsome kid, but it is not actually for Youngin at all. And and so the party goes on.
So it's like, what are you willing to do if you want something so badly?
Well,
you want to sit back and say, "Oh, I used to, like your mother. I used to." Well, don't say that I knew her because I didn't, because he was obviously a dork. Right. So, what do you want? I want to be a singer. I'm going to do whatever it takes to do it. He did whatever he takes
to get what I want
to do it, and he did it. Like not like in A Kiss Before Dying, where he just couldn't balance things, or even what's it called again? The Ripley, where he just loses control at times. He basically was in control. So everything was so perfect that's why it's a little bit comedic, because everything just happens to fall in place.
And I think the one touch is that in all the other stories, Kiss Before Dying, there is something that he is, and in those stories, there is something that the character is trading for what they want. Right? They're like, I'm willing to give up things that I love and people that I connect with, and anything that's valuable to me along the way, even if it's the most valuable thing, I will still throw it away in favor of having more. In this, he doesn't even care at any moment in the film at all.
Yes, he does.
Like, he is like, I think that he only cares about having it all, and everything else is just the execution is simply in the way. Like, he wants to destroy these people. He doesn't want to, he doesn't want simply to be in this situation and be rich. He wants to have destroyed them and have it all. Like, they can't even exist otherwise.
No, he just wants it all. I think you see he felt bad for his parents in some way when he was there. And it was just uncomfortable for him, and means he had to go back to
I sensed it as he was embarrassed by his parents, and he didn't want to be there.
He was, but at the same time, he felt sorry for them.
He has real feelings there.
Yeah.
Because, that's true. But for everybody that he destroys, like, it's just like, he's a predator who will go and just kill everything so there's no competition at all. Like, it's just like, no, I can't have any of you exist. Like, this is mine. You all have to go away.
That's a lot of movies.
And this is the beauty of this thing, because so the party happens, right?
Which is huge party.
Yeah. And
what was so funny to me when the party, what was interesting about the whole party thing, right, is that he comes back from the party, he's pissed off, like his boyfriend is pissed off. It's like, we'll have the party, and then I want you gone.
Right.
Right? I don't want anything to do with you.
Yeah, it's too late to cancel it.
Right. It's too late to cancel it. I want you gone. Because the party was that night, right? And so he, you see him crying in bed, like, oh, fuck, he found out, I'm embarrassed, I'm ashamed, etc. And I assumed that the party happened and that they weren't even going to film the party.
Right.
But they actually did film the party. And the party was a huge, huge party.
Yeah.
Right?
It's ridiculous. It's like ridiculous. It's like out of John Wick.
Yeah. And what was also they put all these little bits and pieces in there to entertain it as well, right? Like just to flash back a little bit, the party when there was only 30 people and they're doing the karaoke part, the half black kid looks at him and it's like, oh, you should sing a song too. And what's the song that he ends up playing?
Pet Shop Boys.
Which one was it?
I Pay Your Rent or something?
I Pay Your Rent.
Yeah.
I Pay Your Rent.
That song, actually.
In a sense to like mock him for being there and mooching off of them. Right? And he's kind of like, embarrassed by it. And then he turns it around and goes, hey, I forgot. You're in this song too. And he hands him the mic, sort of saying, you're also doing the same shit. So don't give me that, right?
Stuff. That's right. Exactly.
So anyway, that was an interesting thing. But anyway, the party happens. But they kicked the half black kid off for stealing.
Yes. Like, yeah.
Because apparently he took something from the house and tried to auction it at Sotheby's.
Right. It's so good.
Right?
So like he's out, like as soon as that kid's out.
Right.
And then,
But I should note, just a little bit to pay a little attention. The thing that he tries to auction was some very rare pottery that our protagonist talks to the father about how he admires this guy's pottery.
yeah, that's right. That's
right.
Yeah.
And then there's a sequence in there, as he's talking about, you see him reading about the history of Saltburn in a book. And he reads about the pottery. So you think he's actually reading about pottery and trying to impress the dad to be part of the house. And then the other kid ends up taking that pottery, quote unquote, and selling it at Sotheby's. But anyway, we'll get to that. Sotheby's. Sotheby's is hard to say. It's kind of like Worcestershire sauce, Sotheby's is a little harder to say. TH has always been hard with me, having gone to a French school. They don't have many TH sounds.
Right, that's right. Sotheby's. This party's extravagant. He is dressed up as a fawn.
A fawn.
Horns.
With horns.
Right. So, and also the figure of Pan features very heavily in this sequence because that's at the center of the Shining style maze they have at the house.
Very, very.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's obviously she is very, very in touch with her Kubrickian muse in this movie. And that's the biggest nod.
Is it a female director?
Yes. Yeah. Writer director. And I think that she's really interesting because I'll get into it a bit, but I think that she what she's doing in the movie is similar to the script that she wrote for Promising Young Woman, if people have seen that, which is another movie which is about sort of the audience getting what it wants and feeling very weird about it. And I think that's the thing she's kind of driving home here. And so when things go wrong with the party, they go as wrong as they've gone in the movie.
Right.
Yeah, it's
it's kind of the same thing. It's a little bit like Fight Club in a sense of oh, wait, I'm cheering for the bad guy the whole time. Right. The problem with Fight Club is people still think he's the good guy at the end of the movie.
Yeah. Well, this is a great point because it's sort of the negative reaction is very similar to the negative Fight Club reaction.
Yeah, that's what I always
in reverse, right?
Right.
It's for a reversed reason, right? And so because both people and people that hate Fight Club think that Fight Club is endorsing what it's actually decrying, right?
Right.
And
it's talking about how you could accidentally get seduced by a very bad person.
Right. Whereas this movie, you are Tyler Durden. Or rather, you are Edward Norton, and he is Tyler Durden seducing you.
Right.
This is the brilliance of the movie. I think is that as it slowly unfolds towards the end, and the depth of his villainy is revealed, is that people are mad because they invested in this as a love story that is very much on their side. It's gay characters. These are he's a downtrodden person, who's he'll never have a chance at this, either forever an outsider kind of thing, right? And now,
but it's such a hard-edged have or have not that it's hard to really say that.
I think that the trick of the movie, and this is what I like about it, right, is that it's doing this on purpose. It's trying to get its core audience to identify with Barry Keoghan in the beginning, right? Because it is actually the movie actually exists to set up a critique of your own actions and beliefs, right? And so I'm a big liberal leftist crackpot guy. I am very pro LGBTQ and I'm on friends on Facebook and the anti-Trump and all that stuff, 100%.
So now my best friends are gay.
Yeah, the thing is, all of my best friends, on Facebook and all my family and all this stuff, we all agree on, on all these things. But very constantly, especially, I'll use Trump as an example, the stream of hatred, pure, I wish they were dead hatred from us, from the good guys towards
the quote unquote good guys,
towards the ultra rich, is absolutely constant. If you open up my Facebook page right now, you would see 6 posts
about how Starbucks should pay their employees more money.
Well, and not only
instead
that,
of making so much
how,
profit.
These fucking morons deserve to die. Like that level of stuff.
Yeah.
Very constantly about the other side, right? And this movie gives you an eat the rich scenario where with a very, very likable character to invest in, and then he does exactly what you fantasize about doing on Facebook.
Trading places.
Like he murders them absolutely without mercy, as you have described in social media that you wish you could do to Trump supporters. Here it is. I'm tearing them apart just the way you wanted, and you get to have it all. Right. And when you see it from the outside, you go, well, that's kind of fucking weird that I want that.
I don't know that that's what it's specifically saying, but
the reason why I think it's specifically saying that is that she also does this in Promising Young Woman.
Okay.
Like Promising Young Woman.
It's about people that are wrong to women in some ways.
Yes, because like you're morally on the side of the main character in that movie,
right?
But what she's doing, yeah, exactly. All the men are villainous, and they get what they deserve over and over again in that movie. But the way it's happening, more and more ventures into territory of like, what is it I am trying to satisfy in myself here?
You fantasizing about beating up the guy who broke into your car and stole your roller skates.
Yeah, well, and like my
sorry, I had that fantasy.
Exactly.
That was weird.
Like, yeah, exactly. And so like it's not like these are not like it's not an anti-feminist movie. It's a very feminist movie, but it's a feminist movie that is very responsible about saying like we should be careful about how one-sided our mind becomes in this fight, because like there's a wonderful scene, one of my favorite scene in Promising Young Woman. She there's a confrontation where she's going to go to what's his name, wonderful actor, Alfred Molina, and she goes to Alfred Molina and sort of just says, "This is why you are a terrible person," lays it out, right? And instead, unlike all the other men in the movie who are just like, "What are you talking about, bitch?" Blah 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 blah. Like he breaks down crying, and he apologizes to her, and then he apologizes to her so abjectly and without even the remotest reservation, like bowing before her and pleading for her forgiveness for so long. And he's absolutely honest in it, that there's no way not to feel, what the fuck am I asking this guy to do? Like, what do I want here? Like this, like he should pay. He's a bad person. But at what point am I doing this for my own ego? Like, what is going on?
Right.
And this is what Saltburn sets up for the audience, and that's why I think people are so mad. Like, of course, I'm as fucking frustrated with giant, rich douchebags and corporations and fucking all these assholes, like as everybody, But if we're not careful, we end up becoming quite Barry Yogany in our brains.
But isn't that what happened in Parasite too? I mean, Parasite does.
Yes, but Parasite has it going both ways, right? And so it's easier to sort of look at Parasite because it attacks you as the audience, but it also reserves a lot for the rich. It just says like both sides are making very serious mistakes. This one just goes,
but they present
making a mistake.
The structure, class structure, is so much better than this. This was
This is theater. Absolute. This is absolute
complete theater. I mean, the rich are a caricature.
Because it actually has nothing.
Are.
This movie has nothing to say about the rich. It only has something to say about its audience. Like that's what it's setting up to do.
Sure. I mean, yes. To be honest, it's such a caricature. It's hilarious, and it felt almost Monty Python-esque.
Yeah, and it's very funny. Like it's super funny and very enjoyable. But the great trick of the movie is that it is played on me, And it's like in the end of the movie, I'm like, why was I looking forward to what he did?
Right.
Like, this is fucking strange.
Right.
He goes beyond like, oh, it's a tragic love story where he kills somebody, right? It's like, no, I'm gonna fucking vaporize this house, like
stole it.
Absolutely unrepentantly, and then dance naked on the grave of Saltburn. Like that's what he wants.
Yeah,
and that level of pure covetous vengeance is very embarrassing.
Right.
And I think that's where people because like people want to see characters like this, and I understand why they feel this way, but they want to see characters like this played in a favorable light because they identify with them and they feel that, like these, real oppressed people and people in very bad situations, like that's the story they want to hear because it makes them feel good about themselves, either for like feeling that somebody cares about them or feeling that their care is validated.
That's how social media works.
Yeah, but this is what we're venturing into, people. That's it. And I think
social
that's
media specifically is about making sure that you get spoon-fed the same feeling that you're.
Social
and if you get anything outside of that, it's like, I don't understand how people can live in this world.
Yeah, people like you, like everybody's. My vision of the outside world and people that are not in my bubble is a cartoon. It is the mother in this movie. Like, like that's the fucking Republicans in my brain. Like they're just about and they're up in the. I don't know what they're doing. Like that's the social media image in my brain because it's the only thing that is ever presented to me. They're not real people deserving of empathy at all. Like they're just animals, and I can slaughter them. That's where it pushes us, and I think that's essentially the what the movie lays out for you is like, be careful what you actually want. Like, what is it you really, really want?
Yeah,
because when you get it,
at the end, he looks like a monster.
He's a fucking monster.
But he's somebody that wanted it so badly he did it. Mm-hmm, some guy wants to become a pro sports player.
Absolutely,
that's it.
This is what you do.
I did whatever it takes to do it.
Yeah.
I did whatever it takes to run my
nobody
drug
else
empire.
Matters. Murder machine.
But in order to get that level, you have to. The people that he wasn't the people that he took over. He just took their property, but they inherited it.
Well, you mean he goes beyond. Like I don't think he's not just getting them out of the way. Like he is very much obliterating them. Like he's it's more important the level of the destruction than simply. Getting them out of the house. Like he just make them poor and then he wins. Like, but instead he's like, no. I gotta fucking poison you and I gotta make sure you kill yourself and I may make you kill yourself and then I will explain that I fucking killed your son to you as you're dying and then kill you. Like that's cruelty. Like that's bald-faced cruelty. If you just want to get rid of them, you just fucking kill them.
Oh yeah, especially when he turns their marionettes and at the end,
this is funny to him.
Yes, to him, he's entertained by this.
Yeah, he's looking at the little dancing box. Like,
Look, I got you all.
Yeah, with an environment like that and characters that you can't really grasp onto in that way, they're kind of basically like caricatures. And when everyone's a caricature,
that's because that's serious. The way he sees
Hold on. How serious is that analysis then? Because you're like, this utter cruelty when everyone is. I'm not saying anything. That all his actions just seem kind of just okay.
Right,
it's Dexter.
Right. No, but the thing is, Dexter is still operating morally. That's why it gives people a feeling of justice by watching Dexter because he's killing people that are obviously bad. John Lithgow is worthy of being murdered. Right. That's good. Like there's a morality to it, which we endorse, even though the extremity is vile. There's no morality at all. Like, in fact, it lures me into thinking it's morality when that doesn't exist. That's entirely in my mind. Like, there are no actual rich people. We're only seeing his vision of what rich people are, which is essentially cartoons that you can destroy. That's it. And I was mistaken to care for anybody that's happening in this movie in the first part. And the movie definitely tries to get me to make that mistake.
They're all selfish people.
Yeah, well, they're like in the beginning, they're the kind of cartoons that I like, so I project onto them, and then they become the kind of cartoons that I want to see destroyed. And then I'm like, wait a minute, am I like, why would I want to see people destroyed? Right. This is strange. I agree with you. Like he's a sociopath, and you have to be a sociopath to be the top fucking track star in the world. But it's more than he wants to become the top track star. Like he is in the end. Telling a dying woman he gleefully murdered her family.
Yeah, but that's exposition.
Absolutely. I mean, the ending is very strange because we go through these big reveals as we go through it. But
yeah, that's all it is.
Yeah,
it's exposition that he is savoring, and he's visibly savoring it. And then he literally dances naked through their house. Like, this isn't just wanting this because he wants to fucking have nice cars. He's like, I fucking ate you and pooped you out. That's
no,
what I did.
won.
Yeah.
I won.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I won.
I killed you all. I won.
I killed you all.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. He kills, just spoiler alert, he kills everyone in the family and owns the house.
That's right.
And
and fucks the dude's grave. Like, this
Right.
is what I've done to you. Good riddance. That's
because there's a sexual nature to everything that he's
it's
doing.
Dominance. It's
It's dominant.
Yeah.
It's 100% dominant. He dominates every single one of them.
It isn't enough to knock him out of the way.
He dominated the sister sexually. Yeah. He dominated the cousin sexually. He dominated the boys. Actually, he never dominated the boy sexually until he died, and then literally
utterly
fucks his grave.
Him. And then utterly dominates
which is
him.
really strange.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like, and that's the self-reflective joy of this movie for me. Is like, I love movies that turn it's like the Hitchcock shot in Notorious Suspicion, maybe, where the pistol turns around on the audience like this. Like, I love that feeling. Like, oh fuck, the bad guy's me. Like, that's my favorite. And Fight Club does that very well. And I think that this is sort of like left-wing Fight Club. You know, it's just like you might be a bit Tyler Durden yourself. Like, you should admit that you are. There's a touch of the fascist in you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, as good as you believe you are.
Yeah.
And I think that's a very responsible critique to lay on people, especially in this context.
Yes. So just to put context to everything we said there, he kills everyone. The party's happening. He catches it, the boyfriend doesn't want anything to do with him. He's looking for him all over the party. They sing happy birthday to him for the whole party, and the guests don't even know his name.
Yeah.
Happy birthday.
They're in the nice rich house.
Right. What? What's this guy's name again?
Yeah.
And then there's a whole scene that in the middle of the maze where there's a giant statue of Pan in the middle of the maze. The boyfriend is having sex with a girl. He's trying to have a conversation with them. They're yelling. They're having their lover's tiff of some kind.
Yes.
And then he wakes up in the morning. Here's the part that I didn't like about it. And I know it's just a weird practical thing. Everyone is yelling for the kid, Felix.
Right.
Right. Everyone's like, Felix, Felix, Felix. And it's like, man, it was just a massive party. It's not like he ran away. Like, how do you all assume something horrible happened to him?
There were butlers in the field when they did the wide shot.
Yeah.
That were running.
Which is the scene behind us right now.
Yeah, these weird directions, like a helicopter was about to crash. It's like, really?
Yeah, I mean it's like they just had a huge party, and like he could have passed out in the pool house.
Yeah,
or
he could have
something,
driven away someplace.
Why are they like running around like they knew something horrible happened to him?
Right.
Which did, by the way, but it just seems odd.
Yeah, exactly. It's a little. It feels like there might be
the plot. The plot had a little bit, but it's it's a massive like, oh, okay, and they sort of say it in the narrative, or he says it in the narrative. It's like, I think at this point you know what happened. He says it literally in the movie.
Yeah, it's right? Like Usual Suspects a little bit.
It is totally the Usual Suspects.
Yeah, really. Exactly. And so they find it exactly right. So they find him. He's dead in the middle of the maze. And then the scene of them trying to have the stiff upper lip.
Yeah, like the kid's dead. And they're like, let's go have lunch.
It's lunchtime. And it's like, the corner's going to be here. Should we draw the curtains? Yes. Draw the curtains.
Oh my God. So ridiculous.
The pie is cold. Eat your pie.
Oh my God. That's like the flavor of the end of Catch-22 when you're like, what the fuck is going on?
And then the sister, who's like complete vapid look on her face, and she keeps pouring herself wine and is flowing over her cup, and she just keeps pouring and pouring and pouring.
Yeah, I mean, that wasn't a strong point.
Well, it's just Monty Python at that point. Like that's just raw ridiculousness. Like these guys are such cartoons. They're cartoons in the middle of like some Greek tragedy. Like, I'm trying to do my shtick.
That's the Greenaway thing about
that's
it.
The Greenaway,
and absolutely. And the fact that the entire room goes red because the curtains are red as all of this is happening is also very Greenaway. Yeah. But they have these little hints of them sort of being very nonchalant about
other people throughout this whole process, right? So we mentioned the mother's friend who they got bored with and had sent away, right?
Right.
And then they had the other kid, they said he stole and tried to do something on Susby's and had it sent away. But then the parents come down. The kids are by the pond talking, gossiping about how they sent him away. But then the parents come down and like nothing's happened. They're like, oh, it's so hot. It's,
Like
it's warmer here
Barbados.
than Barbados.
Yeah.
And they're just having these vapid, empty conversations like nothing's gone on.
Like, yeah, and this is actually there's a movie, like, I really like this. It suggests an even better movie hovering outside this, which is a little bit artier. I'm like, what I would like to see them do is like a movie about the party, or like just the, like this one experience that's more like a Monty Python version of Last Year at Marienbad, where it's just like, this is never really ending. Like, the sun is always going down and it's never really good. And you're just like, do you ever escape this weird fucking world ever? Because that's like, they touch on that right in the end. I'm like, I would like more of that. That seems really, really juicy. And they only do this one little sequence, but
Right.
I did like that a lot.
Right. So yeah, they have the burial and they're real depressed. And then the daughter is in the tub.
And she tries to get power back from him.
Right.
She's like, you're a terrible person. I know it all along.
Yeah.
And she
You
fucking
don't
gets-
belong here.
Yes. And
You
he
will
turns her
never
around
belong.
again.
And he totally possessed, as she's yelling at him,
Yes. And fucking flips it again.
he
It's
makes
like
out with
a
her in a
superpower,
total
yeah.
power move.
Yeah.
And it's just very,
And then-
very wrong.
And then she hates herself so much.
She hates herself so much she kills herself.
She kills
in the
herself
in the tub she was in.
Exactly.
So,
Yeah, the way he laid the razors on the edge of the tub,
which we
with
don't find
hand-
out until later. Did he?
Yeah,
grab that?
it was so like Murder She Wrote. I was like,
Oh God, yeah. That's I had a problem, right?
Exactly,
So there's
right,
these
right.
big reveals. It's very, like you said, usual suspect, where we find out that like he's been planning this thing the whole time
butler's
from
name?
the very beginning.
Butler's name was Kaiser Soze. You didn't pick that up. did you?
Right.
That was a big key for me. I'm just saying that was a big key.
So you know what I really thought would have been the thing. So we find out he's been planning this the whole time from the
Orgy?
minute that the kid was like the punctured tire, right?
yeah.
Yeah,
Like from college on,
he
been
didn't
like,
really have it wasn't flat when he started writing.
Yeah.
Not
This-
halfway down the pound.
Right. This like, so what, like, tell me if you agree with me on this. What I think they should have done for this sequence is just pick one of those things and
Mhm.
reveal it as the last shot. Like, and
Yeah.
say like you just see him like do the thing with
Yes.
the tire.
Yeah,
and then
he-
you're like,
and this
and
they
then you'd be
they
like,
revealed.
the whole time, right?
Yeah,
Instead of
yeah.
like,
Yeah,
the whole time,
it overdosed
overcooked
that.
It overdid it.
All they had to do was like, maybe towards the end, it's like you see him just put it in the tire, and he's like, "Oh, my thing's flat." And he's like, "Well, you could borrow mine," and then cut. Do you know what I mean?
And then
And
what a
then you're
juicy
like,
ending
oh
that
my
would be.
God, that was his.
Yeah.
But everything
Right.
was so like when they did that shot where they show the hand and they put the black glove on and he's stretching it, right? And then he's got the briefcase, right?
right.
Like Murder She Wrote.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. It's
What
you
they
need
reveal
Robert
just
Stack
to
as the guest
clarify to
star.
everyone, what they reveal is that one, he planned the tire, but he also poisoned the alcohol that got to the sun. He also
Right.
put the razor blades on the side of the tub that killed the mother thing.
Yeah.
He
Another
did
pass to
every
the
single
screenplay would've
person,
put it
every step of
into
the way.
legendary status. I
He
agree.
made sure that everyone committed suicide in the way
Yeah.
they did, and he would
Like,
take over.
If this were the Gashly Crumb Tinies for the rich, then that would have been flawless. Like they really could have sculpted that perfectly.
What I
And
was
yeah,
thinking
that
was
sums
going
it
to
up
turn
too
into
much.
what's the movie we did on Martini Giant, the one with the butler that we watched.
The
He was
Butler.
going to
Avatar.
The Help?
No.
No, the Help, the Butler,
what was the one?
this is a great movie.
What was
It's the
this-
60s
Eric,
black
The
and white
Servant.
movie.
The Servant.
Yes, The Servant.
Yes,
What a fucking-
it was
that's
going
a
to be
great
like
movie.
that. I thought the butler was going to be his dad or something the whole
Yeah,
time.
Yeah.
And
And,
it was
then they're
that-
like high-fiving.
Or they're both naked.
good would
And
that be?
I thought the butler was going to come out
Oh,
naked,
dude,
dancing
yeah.
in there. as well.
They were lovers.
Absolutely, yeah. Like that, I would have
Well, you
loved
get that sense because there was when they were searching, the butler stared at him they both had that moment together.
I know.
Maybe
That's why I
it's
thought
there.
it would have been the butler
Maybe
did
it's
it the whole
there.
time.
Yeah.
Would have been hilarious.
Yeah, maybe it's there. Like that. Like I would have loved if they'd pared down on the explanation of everything else.
Yeah, it was too explain-y.
Yeah, and then they
That's
they
a word,
just give me
explain-y?
explain-y. Like it made like
Explanini, yes.
I love explain-y. Like
Yeah,
nice little
it's an
explain-y
era
sauce.
in Italian films, the explain-y area.
That's right. But if they just give the bike bit and then end with the butler, like they just go clink, like they'd be
Right.
like, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like the ending feels like they got the money before they finished the script. Like that was like,
Yep.
here's basically what happens, and we're gonna figure it all out in post. And you're like, well, we never really figured it out. Let's shut it.
Yeah, it was not as eloquent as the rest
Everything
of it.
everything else I'm on board for, and
Yeah.
I'm still on board with what happens. I just
Right.
think like it was, I felt like I listened to Martini Giant tell me on the podcast rather than fucking watching it as a movie.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is. Dan gave away the ending. Okay, I'll still watch it though.
Yeah. But the situation is basically like the sister dies, the mother dies, the sister dies, right? And we should note a tradition that so when he in the early part of the movie when he says his dad died, which we find out later he died, dad really didn't die.
Mm-hmm.
The rich kid looks at him and is like, maybe I can help you out. He's being super nice to him. It's like, my grandfather had this tradition when someone dies, he writes his name on a rock and throws it into the river, right?
Mm-hmm.
And, we can do that. And so he takes a rock and he gives him a name and it says dad on a name. And they throw it and he misses a river and throws it on the trash on the side of the river,
Right.
which was supposed to be like the irony of it.
Right.
But we find out later that his dad's perfectly fine and a very nice person and still alive.
But all the rocks are on the end of the
Right.
show.
And so what he as each family member gets killed or dies, he keeps retrieving these rocks from the bottom of the river and he collects all the names. And then when everyone is dead and he's in the house himself, which we'll talk about how he gets to the house, the last person to die, as he's in the house, he has this little case which has these 4 characters, little marionettes in them, right? And he puts the rocks on top of them that represent each of the family members that he has killed.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Like trophies.
Yeah, that's just fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
That's just super fun.
Yeah.
So yeah,
So the dad seems to have died of old age, but of depression mostly.
Yeah. Oh no, I think it's a suicide. I heard it. Yeah, like
It's also a suicide. It was in the obituary.
Also a suicide.
Right.
Yeah.
But he's also completely, he'd lost both his kids.
He
right?
he figures this shit out. He's just like, no, I think you must go. And then fucking he doesn't have any power, so he's dead. And he's just dead. Off screen, dead.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think what was interesting about it is that, he sticks around the house. He's still in the house, even though the brother,
the wife likes him.
The wife likes him. And he's like, I know she likes you, but I think we need to be alone as a family. You need to go. And he goes, that's true, but I think she really needs me.
Right.
Yeah, but we need to be able to like, yeah, but I think I should stay here for her. I mean, there's nothing I can do about it. And he's like, you can go. And then he looked at him and was like, I think I should stay here for her. And he's like, how much? How much for you to leave?
Right.
He's about to write him a check, which he does.
He did write him a check.
He did write him a big check, right?
Because you can see the house that he lives in and how he lives.
And then he sets himself up quite nicely.
Quite nicely.
Goes back.
Yeah, quite nicely. But he reads the obituary that the guy died, right? Mm-hmm. And he's quote unquote grown up. So several years have gone by, right, from that. And that the mother, he very much plans the idea that he's stopped by a coffee shop where she was, right? Mm-hmm. Near the house that she lives. She invites him to come back to Saltburn because she's lonely and depressed.
And one of my favorite shots in the movie is him typing what he's typing on when he's sitting in the coffee shop.
It's nothing.
Gibberish.
Yeah, here's the thing. It's called Saltburn, and that's what he got. He stole it essentially.
Mm-hmm. Right.
It's almost like in The Kiss Before Dying, Robert Wagner or Matt Dillon's character, they made 2 versions, lived by a train track where this copper company brought all the copper back and forth and you can see it. And he's like, that's what I want. And then the owner of the copper company had 2 beautiful daughters his age, and he dates both of them, kills one and tries to kill the other. So there wasn't any of that early on, like the representative of Saltburn. Like he maybe looked at the picture with the handsome guy, and he's like, that's where you live? Do you know what I mean? And something like, oh my God, this is representative of everything that I want.
Right.
But you don't get that until he arrives and looks and then enters himself through the gate. So that he coveted that, and he went to such great lengths to achieve that, because getting Saltburn means that you stole it and whatever he did to.
Oh, you muted.
You mute yourself or something, Eric. Yeah, still muted. I don't know what happened. Can't hear you. All right, sorry. To get when Eric gets back, we'll.
Can you hear me now?
Yep. Go ahead,
There you
Eric.
go.
Yeah, Mike, there's something wrong with my microphone. So I'll have my tech team look at it. But that's the thing. Like he should have almost like seen it earlier as something that, because that's what he tries to just take everything. Like that's representative of everything that he wanted, whether it's the handsome guy or the money or the antiques or the servants. It's all wrapped up under Saltburn.
Right.
And the family lives under that moniker. And it's like, it's almost like he should have seen it earlier, or something showed the
something
viewer.
To present the target a little bit more.
That's his target, because at the end, it's like, you did this all for,
It's a little
representative.
unclear. Yeah.
I think that setup would have been, they do things like that where they talk about, this is my life and this is this. And, you could really show a lot of his character if he showed him his house, or he has a picture of it in his room at college. And he's like, that's where you live? Right? And by the time he gets there, he studies everything about the house.
Yeah.
And when he's walking through the house with the guy and he says, this is this room, and it was and then he finishes his sentence. He's like, yeah, how'd you know? He's like, oh, I studied history. Art history. So he knows much. And that's the kind of characters that were in your Ripley, as well as the
because Ripley does almost that. He
does the research.
Studies mimics,
so there is the depth missing. Is that
I'll be right back.
He doesn't do the research.
Yeah, well,
it's
just like
that's the motivation.
There's another pass of the script that is needed to get that level of crispness, because I feel like
and I also think if you really wanted to show like how it's power and sex, you should have showed him fucking the guy. Like they have a scene together. Like the girl is there to make him jealous, and then she walks away. It's like, well, it's not going to make him jealous. And he goes back and they have sex, and you see it, and they're totally in love, or there's a power thing there, and he wants more. He wants more. He wants more. He wants more. But they don't do that, and that's where the big mistake for me was on the second viewing. It's like, I understood it. I didn't think it was as threatening as everybody thought. I thought it was a gay erotic film in some ways, like in the tub, and it was cool. But it was Greenaway light. It was Greenaway light, and it made the characters a little too comical. That it makes his pursuit kind of frivolous, because everyone around there is a cardboard cutout.
Yeah, I agree.
But I did like the tall, handsome guy character, but he didn't have enough. He needed maybe they were fooling around, and he felt guilty, or he doesn't feel guilty, but he actually likes him, and he wants to tell his parents that he's gay and he's in love with him, and he doesn't.
They have so much good stuff in this movie, and I really, really like the movie. I think it's a really, really fun movie. But they have so much good stuff that you want the whole thing to land. Like, man, when you talk about not Suddenly Last Summer, but same. What the hell's the name?
Place in the Sun.
Place in the Sun. Like, you want that level of craft throughout, like where the screenplay is like dialed in perfectly, so that when you rewatch it, it becomes a whole different movie. You're just like,
it's really sad because he's
movie.
A fuck up. He's a total fuck up. It's like in A Place in the Sun.
Mm-hmm.
He absolutely was so close, and he really did love her, and she loved him. At the end, they're both crying in jail.
Yeah.
And he just wanted it so much, but he got Shelley Winters pregnant.
Yeah.
And it's sad. You end up crying because they actually would have been a beautiful couple, but he just fucks up, and he wasn't the brightest, and he was playing a little bit out of his league. But
yeah, I really like that guy because I just saw what was it? What's the Pearl Harbor movie?
Pearl Harbor.
Yeah,
the
Pearl Harbor
slightly
2?
better one, the slightly better one than that.
That
Same
Harbor
actor.
by the Pearl. What?
The one kissing on the beach, the big kissing on the beach one. Burt Lancaster.
Eternity. From Here to Eternity.
From Here to Eternity.
With Frank Sinatra.
Yeah, like because he's in
Burt
that.
Lancaster, right?
And he's in that too.
Yeah.
I'm just like, this guy can fucking act. Like this guy's a great actor. Like he's
I
like,
thought-
how come I
sorry.
don't know him?
Go ahead.
Burt
Like this,
Lancaster.
he should be as famous as James.
Charlton
Dean.
Heston.
I think he did more good movies than James Dean did. And
Who?
he's as good as James Dean. Suddenly Last Summer guy.
Montgomery Clift.
Montgomery.
He was
Clift.
he was a better driver than James Dean.
Slightly better,
But he
driver than
slightly
James Dean.
better.
That's the best nasty joke I've heard on Martini Jet in 10 years.
That wasn't nasty.
That was perfect. That was a flawless
Better
joke.
driver.
That was a flawless
We were talking
joke.
the other day, and I was like, "Oh,
He used seatbelts.
That was a
he
flawless
used a
joke.
seatbelt, and that's really where his genius was." But
He was a
we
better
were
actor,
joking
but he was a
about
better
this
driver than
project
James Dean.
associated with us, and they're like, "Oh, do we need an armorer?" I was like, "Make the armorer's name Alex Baldwin." They're like, "Wait, what?"
Boy.
Mm.
Wow. That's like, you know what I loved about that joke is that there's 7 or 8 people who got it. And now everyone else has to look it up and find it.
James
right.
Dean died in a car crash.
He did. Ralph Vudrick. Yes. His what do you call it? His mechanic. Yeah.
His mechanic.
Yeah. Yeah. I happen to know this because
His
of
mech-
his
You what?
'cause he died. James Dean died with his mechanic driving.
Oh,
the
that's right.
PCA
Yeah.
shop. And I know the reason why I know that isn't because I'm so great with Hollywood history. It's because I love David Cronenberg's movie Crash, and
That's right.
is one of the great sequences in it is when they reenact the Dean crash.
That's
It's
right.
spectacular.
Do you know? I saw about 4 years ago. They were auctioning off the chassis of that car.
Oh fuck! Wow, that's awesome.
Do you know
That's great.
why?
That's
It's so
creepy.
strange because the car, that Porsche, crashed. I don't know if it hit a fruit truck or a nut
Mhm.
truck or something came out in the intersection. But
Something with pits in it.
yeah. And there was a garage that housed it for the police. And because it was such bad shape, they took the shell and the parts, but they left the chassis with the wheels.
Right.
And so the family owned it. And then they left it to their sons and their other sons, and then they auctioned it off.
That's a
It was something
story, boy.
ridiculous, like
Yeah.
$350,000 for like a
That's
bent chassis,
creepy. That's creepy. Super wild.
right?
Yeah, that's pretty good. And also, just along the way of that story, if you want to see a movie that might actually shock you slightly, see David Cronenberg's Crash. That's a good fucked up movie. You want to see a fucked up movie? See a James Spader having sex with Rosanna Arquette's leg scar. That's a good movie.
So I think that's actually something I want to talk about. Like, why we've become a bunch of people who can't deal with stuff like this.
Yeah. What do you think, man? I don't know.
And
I don't even have an answer anymore.
what's even more shocking is that the people that are going, "Oh, that's horrible," and disgusting, are the young ones. They're acting like our parents did. They're acting like our parents did when we were kids, and they were like, "Oh my God, Pulp Fiction!
Yes.
It's so
I'm
offensive."
I'm directly experienced with that. Yeah, like I don't know. That's certainly that's quite the.
So, we used to always think that the younger ones wanted to see the newer and the edgier stuff, but it turns out maybe it's just Gen X and it's just us.
Maybe.
We're the ones that want.
If
that
so,
are not
I'm
offended.
glad.
Right?
I'm certainly glad I landed in the right spot. I wouldn't want to miss out on David Cronenberg's Crash. My God.
No. We're Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, or the aforementioned Sallow, or
right.
or The Night Porter, or God, whatever else you want to say.
Naked Lunch.
Polyester.
Polyester.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
Let's say
Pink Flamingos.
Pink Flamingos. Yeah, let's do it. That's it.
What happened to us, man?
Yeah, that's where the good stuff is, man. Yeah, I think that this is.
Here's another one. Jackie Brown. What happened to you, man? You shit used to be gold.
Our ass used to be beautiful.
Our ass used to be beautiful, man.
Pop. Oh, that's it. That's a good picture. That's a good picture. But yeah, like that. This is the thing. Is I think that when it ventures into that territory, it becomes difficult to defend why you like something. And we live so much of our filmic life publicly now that liking the wrong thing at any age at all, because I see this in film Twitter left and right, is just like, if you're not with the right crowd, like you are run out on a rail.
Yeah, if you said you like something that is outcried as being bad, you are canceled just as much as the thing that you're supposed to cancel.
Isn't that pathetic?
No, it's awful. It's plain awful. And like that
makes us sound like a bunch of Republicans that are talking about hating the anti-cancel culture, which ironically they cancel all the time.
Like, everybody does. Everybody does every which way. They just call it different things. Mm-hmm. But like this is classic liberal stuff, man. Like we are what do you call it? Jack Nicholson, Easy Rider. Like that is obviously a very liberal movie, and that was decried as offensive like crazy by the Republicans. The people who are acting like Republicans are the people on film Twitter who are saying you can't possibly show that sex in the movie.
The Democrats have become Republicans.
Yes, yeah, it's extraordinarily conservative.
But that was okay. But that always used to be the case, right? You think about it this way: the South was highly, highly Democratic, but also always conservative. So it used to be Democrats were conservative.
We come back
right? And the Republicans were the ones that basically let me do whatever the fuck I want. Right? That was the whole point.
Yep.
And so like if you go back to what was her name? Governor of Texas woman. Oh,
Mary
Ann Richards?
Yes, Ann Richards.
Yeah.
Okay, sure.
Like she was very conservative, right? She wasn't like Gavin Newsom, shall we say, by far.
Yeah.
Right? Old school Democrats from the 1960s were very conservative.
Yep.
And we're getting back to that.
Yeah, at least in certain ways, and like what's
I mean, everyone's conservative. What's interesting is that everyone's turning conservative in their own definition of conservation.
Exactly right. Well, because that guy actually, I forgot why I just said it. I was just like, everyone's Republican about something. You'll see. It'll happen to you. It will. It's like the Democrats' nightmare. There's something is going to make you go and get all cranked. It's going to happen. And for film Twitter, like I said, of every generation, like I've been I'm just because for instance, I unabashedly loved Maestro. I thought Maestro was terrific, right?
Okay.
What a great director.
I thought it's amazing. I think it's a virtuosic movie. It's one of the best of the year. I was moved. It was incredible, beautiful. Yeah, if you don't like it, that's okay. If you think it's bad, it's totally fine. But man, oh man, when
I've had my share of classical music movies.
Wow! I received some very punchy notes on my comments. Like,
why?
Just for liking it. Yep, it gets complex. The critique was complex, including just getting outright political, as if the movie is political. I'm like,
what's surprised. The thing that's most shocking about this movie is how shocked people were about it.
Yeah, this is
it's a classic. I mean, this is not an untold story, right?
No. This is about as shocking as maybe a late in the game Halloween sequel.
Mm-hmm.
That's about where we're at. It's about as
like
shocking.
Then everyone's like, "Oh my god, that bathtub scene!" It's like, have you seen the piano player? I mean,
yeah, exactly, dude.
Piano teacher, sorry,
piano teacher. Yeah, exactly. Watch Piano Teacher. Which is a great fucking movie. Great
yes.
Movie,
it has a shock value to it. Yeah. It's supposed to.
I mean, if you want real shock,
it's not. But that's fine. Just go like, okay, this guy's a little disturbed.
Right. There's shitty.
He
shock,
drank
which
bathtub
is just,
water.
Yeah, big deal. The thing is it's like there's shitty.
It included some semen in it.
Yeah,
but
which
people
is not
do that all the time.
People do it literally every day.
Every day people drink semen.
Exactly.
Sorry. Didn't want to be graphic, but it happens.
Yeah. But this is like absolutely acceptable, normal human behavior.
Yes.
So like, why is this like outlandish? So yeah, like I mean, and the thing is, I mean, like in the context, it's like, oh, that's a bit nasty. Like it is nasty.
Because it was
It's
creepy.
fun.
It was creepy, and it's supposed to. It's that turning point where you go, oh, this guy's going a little too far in his creepiness.
If you want to talk about like take my breath away as shocking, the movie that topped it this year for me is Ferrari. Like there's a moment in Ferrari where I literally gasped. I was like, I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. I was like, holy God. And it was terrific. And I was happy to be shocked. And it was poignant that I was shocked. And because
was that the scene where he arrives at the airport and they lose his luggage?
Yes, and you think this guy is on top of things. He is Ferrari. It's unbelievable.
And they're like, so no lo so. We don't know where it went, Senor Ferrari. And that was so shocking.
Yeah, it's terrible. But they had the photo to match the photograph that was in the papers perfectly. Really love it.
How could they lose his luggage?
Yeah, it's really tragic. But in any case, yes, Ferrari is an excellent movie. It is, but like that, like there's different kinds of shock. There's shitty shock, like you'd see like something just gory for the sake of being gory, which is sort of like, yeah, whatever, okay, it's gory. But then there's things that really like upset you, and those are more contextual, right? And so this verges on that. People were not expecting it. Contextually, it's a little nasty. I get you, but you see something like whatever. The White Ribbon or The Piano Teacher or like shit like that, that's actually disturbing. And that can disturb
Benny's video.
Benny's video. Yeah, exactly. Like the disturbing parts of the Martyrs, you know, like that it is disturbing is good for you because it really makes you think,
you up.
Yeah. Like you're just like, oh, like it sets your system on fire trying to understand how you even feel about something. That's good. That's very good. This doesn't do anything like that. This is simply fun. This is Friday the 13th.
It just kind of reminded me, I've used this analogy many times. You know, I actually came, you know, as an architect, as you guys know, and I worked in an architecture firm, but I went to a pretty progressive school, architecture school at Rice University. They had a lot of weird, you know, interesting things, right? They were not sort of like a paper architect. They were paper architect as opposed to like the learning how to be a construction document architect school. Right. And you know, and then I went to DD, and I was working with a guy at DD who was or before he went into visual effects, he was a realtor, right? Mm-hmm. And he kept talking about architecture like a Century 21 realtor would talk about it, right? As opposed to like craftsman style bungalows.
We got a split level contemporary.
Exactly. Gated
we can expand it to a fourth bathroom if we want, and that's FYI. If you want to know.
We got the family room here, and like to him, architecture was that, right? Architecture was.
I think I knew who you're talking
like
about.
Exactly the kind of things that you do, where it's like
I sat next to him.
Mm-hmm. Where it was a gated community kind of scenario, right? And or you know, like the houses in
HOA is reasonable. What are you talking about? Focus on the film, dude.
And so to me, it was like, oh, this is everything that's wrong with American architecture, right? Because that's the guy who's selling houses. And that's the guy who's telling people what architecture needs to be. Yes. And so I was always kind of a little bit, he's a super nice guy, very bright guy, very nice and very successful as a visual effects person. But at that point I was like, oh my God, just
very famous brother-in-law.
But we went to a bookstore in Santa Monica named Hennessy and Engels, which is a very famous art school. Yeah. And they have an incredible architecture selection there as well. And he was looking at some architecture books and he's like, look at this house. And he was laughing. He's like, it's crazy. They've got a fireplace in the middle of the room. And to him, this was the craziest thing you've ever seen. And I just kind of looked at him and I was like, wait here. And I went over and I picked up a Zaha Hadid book and I like put it out in front of him. And in his mind was like, no idea. What is this? Yeah. Right. And so I feel like when people get shocked about this movie, I'm like, it's like they put a fireplace in the middle of the room. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to sit you down and make you watch Naked Lunch. You know,
exactly. Let's do some real stuff. Have some fun.
Yeah. And so to be shocked by this movie to me is a little bit like,
It's a little high
Oh
school.
God,
It's a little
what
high
have we
school.
gone to?
Yeah.
Like,
It's okay. I enjoy that. I'm glad that I'm glad that people are enjoying it in that way and exposing
Sure.
themselves. Like, this is good. That's good. But I was just
Well, I
like,
don't think people enjoyed it. There are people actively canceling this movie because they're like, "Oh, this is shocking."
yeah, exactly.
Which in my generation, when something is shocking, it's like, "I can't wait to see this." That's the rebellious thing to do, right?
Yeah, man.
No,
Forever.
the rebellious thing to do is to not see
They're
it.
really canceling it?
Yeah.
Yeah, in multiple ways. Like, this is definitely
Mhm.
this is a hot topic movie, and it's very
What-
partially split.
Which is
Partially split.
weird.
Yeah.
It's a weird thing that this is a hot topic movie.
I think it's very revealing in a way that the movie wants to be revealing, which I think is good. I think
I
the movie
think
is
there's some
successful.
irony to this. Yes.
Yeah. I think that's good, and I think the movie is very successful, and I really enjoyed it. Like, I think I wouldn't say it's a 5-star movie. It's a 3-star movie for sure. Solid, like really, really enjoyable.
That's a good way. Yeah, I would say that.
Like, beautifully shot, super fun
Beautifully shot,
performances.
great acting.
Yeah, like it was a joy the whole way through. A little sloppy in the end, but I had a really
Too
good
much
time.
smoking, though. Oh,
Yeah.
so much smoking.
Oh gosh, clutch. But
Oh
yeah,
my
like, that's-
stars!
Yeah. So, but that's like, there's so many ways in which this liking this movie makes you a bad person now. It's pick your poison, and I'm just like, this is fucking strange. It's like it's interesting and ironic to me that instead of thinking about why the movie upsets you, you just throw it out. You're like, upset me, bye, toss it.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, isn't it interesting that it upsets you? Yeah, like, even if it were an actual offensive movie, be interested in it, like in what your thoughts were.
Yeah.
Well,
Like,
it's
have some interest in yourself.
I'm gonna go back. You remember in the quote unquote early days of AI art,
Mhm.
when people were like, "This is the worst thing ever," and I'm like, and I would ask the questions like, "Tell me what your thoughts are."
Right.
Or I would say, why? I mean, what's your thoughts about this or that? Or I'd ask a question. And just me asking the question, one, they never answered my question.
Mhm.
Two, they immediately attacked me for quote unquote being defensive about AI art when I never was defensive. I asked a question.
Yeah.
Just like this, I'm curious. Like, why aren't you curious?
I'm curious. And I'm not necessarily saying good or bad things. I'm saying, what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, because
And
you can
just
take that,
asking a question, I was a
You should be
bad
able to-
person.
especially when it comes to art in general, like when it comes to, say, movies, like, you should be able to take any movie from any source, even the worst people in the world, Leni Riefenstahl, and be like, this movie is really interesting. Like, yes,
Yeah,
she's Hitler's
She
girlfriend.
made, yeah.
And this
She
celebrates the
wasn't his
Nazis and his
girlfriend.
propaganda piece. But yeah, I mean, that's the line of the internet. But like, this is a really interesting.
Close enough,
film.
Eric. Close
Yeah.
enough.
Like, and she actually has she continues to lead a very interesting
She
life.
did. She's
after
dead.
that.
But yes.
Yeah. And so, like, I think that she's a fascinating person. Whether or not you think anything, like whether you think she's vile or whatever, like, you can say, like, that's a fascinating life. You know, in the same way you could say that about like, pick someone really bad, like Stalin. You know, and like, you can say, like, what's really interesting about the terror of Stalin is the effect it had on the early dramatic and ultimately filmic enterprises in Russia, and why Russia makes the kinds of films it makes today. Like, you shouldn't throw any of that out. It's
No.
fucking interesting, and that's what we're generally afraid of doing right now. Is like,
Stalin
if this
had my
is,
mother deported, by the way, just letting you know that.
Stalin is a number one bad dude.
Yeah.
Very, very vile person. But like, this is like,
He also died on my mother's birthday, which, speaking of
must-
dancing
yeah.
on someone's grave.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. But like, this is the stuff. If you're actually offended by whatever, if you're offended by Saltburn, like, what is this really saying? Like, why am I mad? What's happening for me? Let's talk about this. But instead, the opposite. It's like, let's gang up together in our lack of curiosity and bully everybody else into not seeing it. Like, what a dumb reaction.
Yeah.
What a dumb way to be about art. That's a real shame. Happens literally all the time.
All the time.
But I've noticed recently in the past 6 months that a lot of well-known, I can't quote anybody right now, but I've just been like, oh, they're speaking out. Like Nick Cave spoke out about it about 8 months ago.
Mhm.
but this cancel culture, like it's fucking art up. And now I'm seeing like
Well,
filmmakers
he
and other
didn't.
people.
You think he did that because of Blonde? Nick Cave and the guy from Blonde are very close.
That's it. Yeah.
Well, no, he did the music for Blonde.
Right.
Yeah, but they were very close friends, aren't they?
Yeah. I think that's true. Yeah.
Hillgate or whatever his name is. Yeah. But yes, no. But the thing is, also he just does. It's not healthy.
It's unhealthy for art. It's the opposite of art.
But there's other artists just popping up. Like, this is dumb. What are we doing?
Yeah, because oh, go ahead. Sorry.
But just people, I didn't think they would speak up.
I'm glad it's happening, because I think that people, like, it's turned into such a mess where it just becomes unsafe to even celebrate things you want to celebrate. You know, like just stuff, and because I've run into like really weird, like, oh, you shouldn't like that movie. I'm like, well, and it's something fucking random, like whatever, Muppet Christmas Carol. Just like, I don't even want to know. I just don't want to know. Like, I don't know why that's associated with something bad in your mind, but I can't even fathom what would put you there, you know. And I think that it's so frustrating for artists to have to face it, but it's also really boring for people. Like, even people that practice throwing this stuff out, eventually you don't have any stuff,
you
know, and all you have is the most sort of bland, self-celebratory, masturbatory, you know, boring, middle of the road garbage,
and you're left slurping up your own tub.
Yeah, exactly. Dude. It's just that's not very satisfying. It's not a lot of nutrition in that. And but this movie definitely points a finger at that. And I the thing I like best about the movie is that it tries to create the situation. You know, it makes itself a movie that will be talked about in that way, so you can at least talk about that. It may not be successful in all ways.
Oh, I have to recommend a movie that I saw yesterday in the theaters. I've been in the theater, American Fiction.
Oh, I hear it's great. That looks hysterical.
Yeah.
Oh, is that the wrestling one?
No, it's the one with Jeffrey Wright, where he's the author.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh my God, that looks great.
It's really, really good. And it actually makes fun of white people.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Give it to me, man. Like, I want it, like this is the thing. It's just like, I want, you know, like, just fucking dig in for real. Like,
he's a writer who happens to be black, and he's really pissed off. Like, one of the scenes is he goes to the bookstore and he finds all of his books in African American history or literature. Or whatever. Yeah. And he's like, it's just a regular book. It should be with the regular books just because I'm black.
Yeah, exactly. Like, yeah, like, well, because in the end, they're just like, well, you know, they're looking for black authors. He's like, I'm black and I'm an author. I'm a black author. And like, yeah, but you know what I mean. Like, oh my God.
Yeah, so, you should watch it. It's really good. It's really good.
That looks terrific.
I got to go see Poor Things first.
Yeah, see Poor Things. But who's the guy who plays his brother is really good as well.
Oh, is he? I don't know what the character relationship is. There's the guy from Atlanta, whom I love. He's also in Sorry to Bother You, which is a fucking incredible movie.
Hold on a second.
Yeah, the cast is jacked. It's really great.
Yeah, but sorry. I'm just sorry. Sterling Brown.
Oh yeah, right.
Is the guy, his brother is really good. And then Issa Rae, who's in Insecure.
Mm-hmm, yep.
She's in it as well. It's a very, very, very good.
Yeah, I can't wait to see that.
Very good.
I laughed out loud.
What I'm excited about is I've been thinking about it. It's like there are movies in movie theaters again.
I know. God, it's so
you know what I mean?
Good.
Like this movie would never like the 2017, 2018 never would have this been in theaters.
Yeah.
Right.
This will all be all this. The thing is,
because this is a cheap film. Like this budget probably was done for like $5 million.
It's so. I mean, like, and the thing is, I will say this. Like, though I've been to a couple of movies where there are some fucking idiots on playing games on their phone and shit like that. Like when you go to the AMC 16, you still get that.
Right.
But everybody else seems so happy to get back to the movies that in regular everyday movie theaters, people are much better behaved. I think people are just like, oh shit, we actually love doing this. We took it for granted. It was gone for 3 years.
Right.
You know, and so it's been a much better experience. But I like, man, seeing what did I just go see? Oh shit! Like I think that I was just fucking I was so thrilled to be. I was in the movie theater like twice in 1 week, and I was like, ah, it's happening. Yeah, really, really spectacular.
What's happening? That's funny.
The movie, have you seen the What's Happening movie? The rerun?
Yeah.
Remember that?
I mean, American Fiction didn't make much money in the theaters. It probably wasn't on that many screens, but
It
just
doesn't
like
cost a lot
that
of
was
money.
there. Poor Things is in theaters.
Yep,
You know,
that looks great.
Godzilla -1
terrific.
is now going to get a
film.
black and white release in the U.S.
Yeah, I thought they were only doing that in Japan, but I guess you're right.
They're going to get in the U.S. too.
That's
and
the version I want to see. That's going to be my version.
Well, it doesn't matter. It's happening, and just like, but you know, these things are happening, and then I'm seeing ads for Madam Web,
Oh yeah.
and I'm like, I don't give a flying fuck.
I like, maybe that's genius. Maybe that's the new Glenn Ross.
Yeah.
But
Whereas
I'm
my
say
friend
no.
can say, my concern can be measured in nano give a shits.
Yeah, exactly, dude. Yeah. I'm
What's
not gonna
Madam
be jumping.
Web?
That's the
It's a Spider-Man spin-off.
Spider-Man side
Spin-off.
Yeah. With unfortunately
With women.
Yeah. And
See, it's women.
Dakota.
Now it's better because it's got women. It's more diverse.
Johnson?
Dakota Johnson.
Fanning.
No, Johnson. And the thing is, I have seen a movie with Dakota Johnson that I love so much that she has credit with me in everything. I love the remake of Suspiria, and she's terrific in it.
Mm.
However, that excludes Madam Web. I was like, I'll see anything but Madam Web. I am not.
They're
going to
still
be-
pushing that Marvel crap.
Well, they now they're just like.
Well, I
scraping
think
out
it's
the
just
barrel.
stuff that was left over on the back burner that they have to put out at some point.
Yeah,
So
there's
they can
there's no
recoup
way
some
out now.
money.
They've already made these movies. They got to try
Yeah.
and make $1 back.
I
That's-
read this
that's done.
thing. Maybe you guys talked about it already on your podcast.
Our podcast? Oh, you'd like our podcast?
That's a good
Listen to
Yeah,
the other
that's
one?
fine. I'll subscribe.
Yeah.
That Warner Brothers basically made 2 films in the past couple of years
Oh,
that they never released.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
They made Batgirl or whatever that
Batgirl,
was, or
yeah.
Supergirl.
With
one
Michael
of those.
Keaton.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
fuck, man. It's just like if you're gonna release Madam Web, release Batgirl.
Well,
That's right.
and the
Jesus
other one that
Crazy thing.
happened,
It's like, how can you release a name like
They-
Madam Web and not
they did a
release-
Looney Tunes one, which they basically
Yes.
wanted to not release, which apparently everyone worked their asses off and almost lost their houses and their lives and everything
Right.
over. And they decided, we're just going to shelve it and take the tax break on it.
Take the tax write. Just burn this film
And
into lighter houses.
it was a massive, massive outcry. And the state of Texas that gave them a bunch of money to shoot this film sued them.
yeah
because
Really?
because they like, wait a
they're
minute, we gave you a shit ton of tax breaks on this movie.
with the idea of getting a fucking return
Right.
based on the gross or on the
Right,
net.
right.
Yeah, and they're like, nope.
Yeah.
Net
And
this.
so they almost got
Wow.
sued by Texas. I was
Yeah.
like,
That's fucking scumbag. The idea of
that was Warner Brothers again.
yeah.
So
let's
it's
David
what's his
Zaslav.
name? It's
Zaslav.
Zaslav. God, that guy.
I don't care. I don't
That
care
guy. You know what
I
I want
don't
to
care.
do? I want to take him to the middle of a maze, give him poison, and then
Yeah, I
fuck
want
his
to obliterate
grave.
his family. Fuck is great. Yeah, exactly. Like
That rich guys, those rich guys, and all those
that's
rich
right.
things
I
they
wanna light
do.
him on fire. I'm sure
Light him
he
on
has
fire.
absolutely
Go to
nothing
his
of value
Hollywood
in his life.
mansion and take it over and dance naked through his house and
That's
just
right. So satisfying.
so
But-
satisfying. Yeah.
Yeah. Now I got to put my pants
That
back on and
Zaslav
review
guy.
films. But yeah, no, like I it's such a bad, like the idea, no matter what kind of shitty movie you're talking about, it could be like the Madonna sex movie with Willem Dafoe, and the idea of not releasing it just as so you can get the tax write off. I'm just like, fuck you. Like, yes, I know it's trash, but it's still a movie. Like, you're a movie company.
Well, it was the people also that worked their asses off on it. And it was like,
Yeah.
I just wasted 2 years of my life, lost my house, probably lost my marriage.
Yeah. To get your dumb movie, just so I can fucking,
And then you're like,
get you another car. I fucking, ugh. Yeah, that does make me want to dance naked through their house. Fuckers. See, that's the thing.
But people
that'll turn
are
me to that
angry in the
guy.
world. There's a lot of things that there's just
There's lots of reasons to
So-
be angry.
Yeah.
And, I think but the being angry part is reasonable. It's the unchecked dehumanization of your enemy that's more the problem.
Mm-hmm.
Like, gotta not do that. Like, yeah, you can be mad. You can be at war, But try not to do the dehumanization part, because that's where you really start to lose your judgment.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Well,
Yeah.
I think this was an interesting movie.
Yeah, I love it. I really enjoyed it. I had a blast.
I did too. It's a good solid B+ movie.
Yeah,
right?
like imagine if Mike Nichols had done this or Elaine May had done this.
Right.
Like if she had taken that script and done one good last
Or
pass on
Altman.
this thing,
Altman
or
could have-
Altman, yeah, exactly, and really take it and tighten that ratchet, you know,
Right.
like get it in there, then this movie would be a 4-star movie. And so like I feel a little bit of a pang of like came out of the oven too soon, but it's still very good. It's still very, very good. I definitely recommend it. And
I did like the fact that it keeps changing from a movie you think it is to a movie that it's not, right?
Yeah.
Like, oh, wait, I've been duped a little bit. Oh, no, I've been duped
What
again.
story am I telling myself now about this guy when
Right,
all he's doing
right.
is fucking swinging a scythe through the corn?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's pretty wild. But yeah, no, that was good. And yeah, I know there's like, so I gotta catch up on Poor Things, American Fiction. I know there's like 3 or 4 other things. The thing that I'm most looking forward to, obviously, is Dune 2, which I'm going to be seeing, I hope, at Tarantino's newly renovated Vista Theater.
Okay.
Well, that's my old neighborhood. But here's the question: when does that come out?
March.
It was supposed to come out in December, right?
Last year, yeah. Yep, last year.
Yeah.
But it just got, because they couldn't advertise it without...
right. With the
Zendaya,
strikes and stuff.
Yeah, breaking the strike.
Okay, so this brings up a couple things also that I want to talk about in the podcast. Is like I'm excited about the fact that there's some really interesting movies that are coming out, and suddenly we are doing a way more contemporary films than we'd ever done.
Yeah, it's true.
And so I love the idea that we do these things, and we don't have to just keep going back to the well of awesome 70s films. We can actually get excited about films again.
Though that well is still quite deep.
That well is still quite deep, and the water there is as sweet as it's ever been.
That's right.
But it's nice and refreshing to know that, you know, even though you can always have a really great Baldo, sometimes you can get some great things from Napa Valley.
It's true. It's something breezy, something nice. Exactly.
Right? So maybe we're on the verge or the cusp, as they say, of a new era, which is cool.
That's true. I think that's true.
Hey,
certainly,
so,
like the studio's got nothing coming. So
interesting point. I want to bring this up on this podcast and advertise a little bit for an episode of the podcast for my other podcast, CG Garage, I did. That's coming out on Monday, by the way. It's going to have Ben Hansford in it. So my Ben Hansford episode's coming out on Monday.
The director, Ben Hansford?
It's a fabulous director, Ben Hansford,
Amazing.
who we are very excited to be doing cool stuff with.
He's a fascinating
He
fellow.
is a big fan of this podcast, Ben is, and he's been talking about stuff, and he's been talking a lot about AI stuff as well, right? And so during the discourse, of that we were talking about how filmmaking is on the cusp of a new era and talking about the 1960s films, and that we've said that narrative and how the 1970s moved on beyond it. And I asked him, do you think AI is going to be the thing that pushes us to the other side? His argument was not the same way as the American films. He feels that AI is the tool, is more parallel to the French New Wave.
Yeah, I think it's a good point.
Right? Because in the French New Wave, then cameras got light enough to do interesting things on the practical side of things. And so he equates AI to the versatility of us being able to do more interesting things. Right. But it was all very experimental, right? Yep. And American cinema rebelled against French New Wave, like what a bunch of clowns with those weird movies, right? Right. And then but it eventually inspired people like Coppola and all those other guys to make the things that they do. So I think it's interesting. So I'm hoping that we'll see sort of another thing there. But
yeah, because it is true that like you get things like Close Encounters, because Close Encounters is actually a throwback to good old 40s style filmmaking. Like that's real old Hollywood. Yeah, like that is old Hollywood filmmaking right there. And it got there because the American New Wave opened the door for people like Steven Spielberg, who were very old film savvy. So
yes,
it's
absolutely.
It's interesting how these things swing back and forth.
Absolutely.
Refresh the old stuff with the new blood.
With a new blood, right? And then you can do that with things like Godzilla -1, right?
Absolutely.
And so I think that we've been talking about how we feel that we need to be on the cusp of a new generation. I think we're starting to see it now. Like the fact that Yorgos Lanthimos' film is like a popular movie for people to go see in theaters right now.
That's terrific.
It's crazy. Yeah. It's awesome.
And then you have
and
big stars.
So much nudity.
Yeah, I know. Like I was just gonna say,
I have seen more pubic hair in films nowadays than I've seen in a long time.
I think this is wonderful. I think this is great. And the thing is, I'm glad that big stars are doing that. Like that's a big weird movie.
Very famous pubic hair.
Let's do this. Go for it, man.
Yes, very, including this film that we just talked about.
Yep, lots of it. Lots of it. But yeah, like I think that's healthy. And I think you're right, Eric. Like I think the super closed-minded era is starting to ebb. And I think that there's hope on the horizon, at least with artists getting so fucking frustrated that they're just going to start doing what they want. And that shit is going to be interesting, and people will be interested in it against their better judgment.
Yeah. And the fact that people can do what they want to do now.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
It's coming.
We were talking about Sinatra earlier. I listened to, it's so funny. Like 6 months ago when you asked for AI music and it was like, well, it kind of sounds like music, but I'm not quite sure. And today or 2 days ago, I heard someone did a Frank Sinatra version of Smells Like Teen Spirit, and it's the entire actual song with a full orchestra and everything, and the words are there, everything's there. Like, how have we changed so much? Now it's not fast. It's not perfect. I mean, I think Sinatra would have made it better, but it was like it was believable.
Yeah, like it puts into the ballpark that once you have more specific control of what these things can do, like you'll be able to do literally anything at all.
Yeah. Which, by the way, the music industry is the one that's going to sort of really sort of push the AI stuff the most because they're the ones who were really clever about rights.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Agreed.
I mean, movies themselves, one of the greatest reasons we keep talking about a movie's not available on streaming or whatever. Most of that is music rights.
Yeah.
Yes, you're right.
Unbelievable. There's movies that are hidden forever because of that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, I totally agree with that. And not, like now there's all sorts of like I look forward to the day where I will be able to watch a complete cut of the real original version of Magnificent Ambersons by Orson Welles, based on his extensive notes, like 70 pages of notes of how to put it back together the correct way. Mm-hmm. And I'm just like, we have all the reference photos. We have exactly what he wants to do. We know all the actors. We can sample everything. Like, it's not going to be too long before you just scan that, and then it will be complete. It'll just render it out and have it be back. And I think that's great. I think that's great. Certainly better than the shitty ending that movie has now.
Yeah.
So,
although I probably will go see Argyle.
Of course. Of course. I like I always
that
say
was like, romancing the stone.
Absolutely, dude. I mean, like I
with
said,
a cat.
With fucking Netflix, like, I want to watch crap. I'm not saying crap is bad. I love crap. I just also want interesting stuff.
Yeah.
We haven't had enough of that.
Yeah.
I can't have all crap. Then I notice.
Yeah.
This tastes like crap.
Uh-huh. Yeah, foie gras and a hamburger.
Yeah, that's all I need. Keep me on my toes. That's all I ask.
Because otherwise, you know what you have. You have too much escargot.
Too much escargot, motherfuckers.
I did have Shake Shack today. It was delicious.
Oh, I love Shake Shack.
I've only tried it once.
Oh, did you enjoy it?
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
So good, dude. Even with
like, how did I miss this?
Because I will tell you, there's
Eric's coming to town next week, by the way.
Yeah,
very excited. Not next week, but a week from tomorrow.
Yep, week from tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll do a little in and out.
And it's lots of ins, lots of outs, lots of strands in old dude's head. But yeah, no, like those special moments like Shake Shack. We can Shake Shack together. We can podcast and Shake Shack.
I think we can. I think we're going to do, I would love to see if we can pull off a podcast, the three of us in person, next Sunday.
Yeah, it'd be really good.
Maybe even just a watch party together in person or something.
Yep.
Let's do a watch party.
Yeah?
Yeah, that'd be a
good
time.
Do that?
Yeah.
And then there's no pressure because we have a lot. The reason Eric's in town is we've got a big project we're working on and we got a lot of work to do. So maybe we just do a watch party.
Just do decompress on a nice 4K.
Yeah,
Blu-ray.
on my giant TV here, we can make this happen.
Like that. Right. Like a little 7 hours of Satan Tango. Let's go.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
So we did, how long have we been going on this thing?
20 now. This is a pretty good meaty one for a single film.
220. Yeah. Brady was saying there's no way you can go less than 230, and I'm going to prove him wrong. We're going to go less than 230.
Yeah, but this I think for a single film podcast, this is the right zone. This is nice.
Yeah, this was a very typical Martini Giant one where we talked about the end without the context at the beginning, and then went back to the end.
Everything.
Spoil everything.
Order,
it's all good.
We talk about the order, and then there.
Yeah, okay. I was like, I can't believe everyone canceled this movie. What are you talking about? And then we finally get around to explaining why people canceled the movie.
And then at the very end, we go, that was Saltburn. Surprise.
But you're right. There was, I was like, something's bothering me about the end where they reveal the fact that he slowly planned this whole thing from the very beginning. And it did have that Kaiser Sosa feel to it.
Oh, totally. And then, but I was joking earlier. I was waiting to see just the hand with the black leather glove being stretched.
Yeah, exactly. It's a fucking giallo.
Car in a garage, screeching.
Exactly.
Yeah. By the way, he moves in with the mother. I don't think we actually said it. He moves in with the mother into Saltburn. You can see her signing off the will for him to own the house.
That was Murder, She Wrote.
And then she's dying on the bed. She's got a breathing apparatus down her throat. He's taking a cigarette and breathing into the breathing apparatus while explaining to her that he murdered her entire family and she's unconscious. I wonder
if that was a reshoot.
And then pulls the breathing apparatus out of her and watches her die as he slowly hugs her, which was she's dead.
Cool. Yeah, it's fun. That's a good gag. I like that. Yeah. What I really wanted is when he's finished off with the grave, I was hoping he would start lean back and look at the camera, and then the dude sits up out of the grave, dirt falls from his face, and he goes, "I got salt burned," and then freeze frames.
That was. Were you not shocked by that? Because I was like, "That's so clever." That was almost like he sounded like Boss Hogg from Dukes of Hazzard, and it's like, "I got salt burned.
I got salt burned." That's all.
Yeah, that was
Cletus.
That was a great ending.
That really got me back on board. You got salt.
There was unusual suspects to that.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yep.
Which was a little too much for me.
Like the coffee cup drops, slow motion. As he looks at the wall,
because the difference is the difference is
like
in usual suspects
and all these things.
Usual suspects, I was genuinely surprised, and they're playing it out over my surprise. Where in this, I was just like, well, yeah. I assume this because you're a fucking scumbag. He's a bad person, right? So I assume this is true.
So I didn't really see him as a bad person. Does that make me a bad person?
Yes.
No,
absolutely makes you a bad person. You see, this is why you should have canceled that movie.
You're right, because he is absolutely the hero of the film. He is there's not an ounce of critique against him. He is the hero of the film. It's just contextually that's a weird hero. That's what makes it interesting. That's why the movie's interesting.
Yes. He's like, are you sure he's a hero? Is what this questioning. I think that's the problem.
Exactly. That's, How heroic do you feel right now is what the movie's saying to you. Here it is. Here's what you ordered.
Here's everything you've ever wanted.
Yeah, exactly. Here's your vengeance. Ta-da. Ugh. This is nasty.
What was the line from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory? What happened to the boy who got everything he ever wanted? He lived happily ever after.
He lived happily ever after. He does.
He does.
He absolutely does.
Yep.
Yeah, I think he's a hero.
Anyway, glad movies like this are getting made. Go see American Fiction, which also makes fun of people talking about how brave black people are.
Yes, thanks.
It's so good. Fantastic. Yeah. It also makes fun of ultra liberal people.
Oh God. I will automatically watch it.
It's a very liberal film making fun of liberal people.
That's all I ask. A little bit of self-critique. It's healthy. It's good.
Yeah.
Doesn't
especially white women.
Yeah. Just saying. Yeah.
So brave. Brave.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Book club will love this. Yeah. Oh my God.
There's a shot. I'm like, There's a shot in American Fiction where he's watching a lecture of a black person talking about fiction, and it's just the thing that he's hating about it, like, all black men are arrested by killed by white cops, and they wear, talk the way they do, right, and everything else. And as a dude, and people get up and have he's looking at this in horror, right? And it's the end, and he's like, oh. And as he does this white woman right in front of him gets up and goes,
Oh my
and it's like, oh my God.
I will watch literally anything with Jeffrey Wright. The guy has some of the best.
Yeah, he's
taste,
good.
and he's such a great actor.
He was in Broken Flowers, which I loved.
Yeah, he's.
That's right. He was.
Yep. Yep.
He also played Basquiat in Schnabel's Basquiat.
Yeah, Basquiat. Yep.
Yeah.
And
which I love that film.
He's very bright.
Yeah, he's really something, that guy. And also he's, if I'm remembering this correctly, he is the villain in Samuel L. Jackson's Shaft, which I watched again 2 years ago. That movie fucking rules. That's a great remake. If you want to see I like Shaft to begin with. I'm a Richard Roundtree fan, but Samuel Jackson's Shaft is surprisingly good. I think it's on Tubi right now. Check that movie out. It's really good. Plus a little Jeffrey Wright.
Oh, what else is on Tubi? Hate to say it. This is going down terrible movies, but it's on Tubi and worth seeing because you haven't seen it in a while, and you can go, all right, Night of the Comet.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That was my Kool-Aid voice right there. Oh yeah.
Well, that's what that movie looks like. It looks like the Kool-Aid is spilled all over the film.
Yeah, I love Night of the Comet. I saw that.
The ending is not so good, but the whole premise.
It's not a very good movie.
No,
but
it's not a very good movie.
movie.
But the whole premise of the whole thing, and like, you're sitting behind metal, and like all that stuff was awesome.
Oh, it's super fun, man. And nobody. I don't think too many people have seen that one. That's kind of
really
a rare one. Yeah.
Oh, I used to watch that all the time.
Everybody in our age bracket has seen it.
Yeah. This was a Saturday night. This was, Night of the Comet or Overboard, man. I'd watch that all the time.
Yeah, those are good fucking movies.
Yeah.
That's good. And actually, the movie that I would love to see that I haven't seen in probably 20 years is Miracle Mile. But do you remember this? Remember, it's like the nuclear bombs are coming and they're going to hit Los Angeles, and it's Anthony ER, what's his name? The bald doctor from ER trying to escape Los Angeles before it gets nuked. It is fucking great from what I remember.
Miracle Mile?
Miracle Mile.
Oh, yeah. You talked about that recently.
Yeah. If it's as good as I remember, it's great. If it's not, then, well, it's probably on Tubi. But I got
Tubi's got some good stuff.
Tubi's got some great stuff. You just
what's interesting is Canopy, which I always claim is wonderful. They're getting a lot of trash on Canopy, too.
Yeah. These things need a better curating system.
Yeah,
because Tubi is Tubi's kind of a job. Like you have to go through Tubi.
You know what I want is I want to build an AI that knows all of the streaming networks and does a better curating for me.
I think there is something.
They're never going to make that happen because Netflix controls all of that stuff. Yeah. So it's very hard to get that data because so many people have tried to make that happen.
Yeah, Roku's
there is something I just saw. Do you go to Future Tools?
No, because you go to Future Tools and you help curate Future Tools for me. It's double curated.
That's right. Yes, exactly. It's like putting in a.
Eric is the best person to tell me the best stuff that's out there. So yes.
It's like there was something I swear I saw.
And by the way, for anyone listening to, if you want to know like some of the best tools and stuff like that, Eric is very good on our Discord of putting links of this interesting stuff on our Discord. Ooh. So go ahead and join our Discord. And if you don't know what our Discord is, it's a link on any one of our podcasts. In our YouTube. Go ahead, Eric.
Our Discord?
What?
Did you see Dan, what I put in my Discord? Our Discord?
1 second. I did not. Oh yeah, look at that.
That's under just us. So you should put it into the AI section. Oh, I did, Eric. I didn't see the John Woo stuff that you did here.
Yeah.
Some beautiful work.
Yeah.
That's some beautiful work. Dazzler. God bless. Well, sadly, your son's proven you wrong.
Yeah, that's me I put in. That's my face in the John Woo.
Good.
I know. I saw that. Yeah, that's a lot of. Was that bottle caps? What is that supposed to be?
Gold coins.
Gold coins.
Doubloons.
The blooms are cougar reins.
Cougar ants.
Cougar ants.
What is that from Lethal Weapon?
I was just going to say, just checking to see if I'm
Diplomat.
standing on plastic. Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Yeah. I, having relatively recently watched Lethal Weapon 1 and 2, I
Yeah.
thought, when I was a kid, Lethal Weapon
It was
2
pretty good.
2 is really good. It's not as good as 1.
The girl in it was
Yeah.
freaking hot.
If you like $5 if anyone can name her, Patsy Kensit.
Patsy Kensit, and she also did
Kensit.
another movie that was really interesting. What was it called now? Oh crap! Go ahead, keep talking about what you were going to talk about. Lethal Weapon 2.
I actually just saw a movie that was done on Tarantino's podcast with Rod Steiger called oh shoot, what's the name of it? Anyway, it's about Rod Steiger is a former IRA guy, and now he is his kid and his wife are killed in this fight between the English and the Irish. And so he decides to go and kill the queen, and it's Hennessy is the name of the movie, and his kid is like a 5-year-old Patsy Kensit. It was like, what the fuck? It was totally bizarre. Very good movie though. I like the movie quite a bit. Like it's he gets into the House of Commons or whatever it is, and it's all intercut with real footage of the queen in a really clever way.
Interesting.
It's a very clever movie.
She was so pretty.
Yeah.
Patsy Kensit was awesome. Yeah. Lethal Weapon 2 is like now I think it's the overdone one, but with great stuff. I used to like it better than 1, but now when I watch Lethal Weapon 1 again, I'm like, this is a great buddy cop movie, and Mel Gibson is phenomenal in 1.
Of course. Yes.
Like he outacts, like he is acting like he's in
very good.
He's like he is acting in a whole other Oscar-winning movie that is not happening right. And the rest of the movie is just a fun gun movie.
No,
Yeah. But he is
Patsy
outlandishly
Kensit
good.
was also in a very interesting sort of indie film directed by Don Boyd called 21.
Oh yeah. I remember 21. Yeah.
Came out.
It's a while ago.
Yeah, it was after Lethal Weapon.
Yeah,
where she became a household
that was her
name.
that was a big hit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Interesting.
Guys, I think I got a roll.
All
Okay.
right. Sounds
You
good.
got it, buddy.
But that was fun.
That's
Good,
good.
fun episode, everyone.
I'm
Appreciate
going to go
it.
take a bath in my tub.
Okay, I'll be right over. Nice. Nice.
That was so horrible. Just the vision of that, and
just the
wet
beard. The beard, just all the suds coming off
it
the beard.
sponges it up. It sponges it up.
Two of the
All the
nastiest
suds.
jokes, Martini John. Yeah, like, he's
I
not as
got
good
it,
an
dude.
actor
Now a
as
picture of you
James
with
Dean.
just
He's
foam,
just a
like
better
in the tub
driver.
with foam all over your face.
Soap scum.
Yeah, thanks.
I
Thanks,
am
everybody.
doing that now.
You knew this podcast would eventually land here, so why not just cut to the chase? That's right.
Way to
so
get to the gutter, guys.
Yeah, that's it. Nice.
Yeah, this thing is going down the drain.
Down the drain. Down the drain.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that was lovely. Thank you very much to Jason in the chat. We didn't get to comment on it, but there was some excellent little chime-ins there. We will hopefully be returning live together for a actual watch party. So please check in with us next week.
Sunday, probably.
Next Sunday.
Sunday.
Check your Discord, Dan.
All right. Are you guys ready to do this?
Let's do
Yes.
All right. Drink.
Talk.
Drink.